One last time. Who the hell are you? Jen blasted a wave of power, knocking the guy back. The enemy landed smoothly and dusted his clothes off before finally introducing himself. I am one of the 5 ravens of Odin, the North's ruler, though I remain nameless. Once I kill you, the Emperor will name me. John looked dark. Thinking about that thing inside his father's body made him absolutely furious. You're a cursed freak, just like that other jerk. Rage rolled off Joan like a wave. Ina watched in shock at the scary aura coming off him. Was this really the same Joan? Hearing her voice brought him back. He took a breath. Running isn't an option anymore. Stay right behind me. Got it? Ina stepped back, nodding. The crow just sneered at them. Is she special to you? What if she is? Then I'll break you by destroying her first. I'll rip her into pieces like dried meat. You think so? Come and try. Jan wasn't letting this monster win. He was no pushover. System engaged. Active skill item creation. A moment of silence for the enemy. The only one getting torn apart today is you. Light flashed. He summoned the Balmong replica. Synthesis complete. Behold, the Dragon Slayer blade. S rank. Both fighters flew into the air. The shopkeeper laughed like a maniac at that huge sword. Nice toy, but not enough. He caught the blade with his bare hands. Boom. Shockwaves ripped through the street. Dust filled the air. Ina covered her eyes, shaking from the blast. She panicked. Who was this monster? Why was he attacking so hard? Since she missed the talk about the northern gods, she had no idea what happened. She only knew one thing: the enemy called John a weird name. She pushed her doubts away. Panicking wouldn't help. She had to help John. Now, steel rang as John swung his sword with perfect aim. The shopkeeper countered with glowing red chains. What's your link to Hugin? John demanded. John looked grim. Curious, even while you're dying? Fine, I will tell you. The shopkeeper's form twisted, showing his true nature. He is one of Odin's ravens, like Minhun, a vessel of northern god power. Pathetic. I get it now. Someone as strong as you, reduced to a pawn just to test me. Why submit to that? The nameless crow didn't care about the insult. The prophecy is absolute. Gods don't change their minds, kid. You're seriously risking it all over some fake fortune-telling? That is exactly why I am here. John's fuse blew. He slammed Balmong into the dirt. Skill active, frozen domain. Sharp ice spikes shot up. The crow dodged them like it was nothing. John lunged for the kill. Clang. Blocked instantly. Those northern god prophecies? They never missed the mark. Chains lashed out like vipers. Whip. Crack. John barely parried them. From the sidelines, Aina analyzed the whole mess. Plain and simple. This guy was not someone they could take lightly. Her current level was trash, making her useless to John. But she had a plan. She pulled out a glowing gem. John, catch. She tossed it. What is this? John caught the artifact and the system flagged it. A mana transfer stone. An artifact designed to channel all your mana directly to the person holding it. Before John could react, raw magic flooded his veins from Ina. Memories flashed. Every battle, every win they shared. She poured everything into that stone. John froze for 5 seconds. Then a cocky smirk hit his face. He gripped it tight. Thanks. Focus. Don't let your feelings mess you up. That is exactly what the crow wants. Stay frosty. Analyze. Where is the opening? What is his weakness? Things were getting real bad. He needed a strategy to flip this deathmatch, and he needed it now. The crow launched a spear-tipped chain, aiming for John's heart. John countered, summoning chains of light to block. This enemy was way too smart. He unleashed a storm of shadow daggers, creating a gap for his iron chains to slither right through. Dual weapons, daggers and chains, John noted. His mana pool dwarfs mine. I have to keep my distance. One slip up and I am dead. If I lose momentum, I won't be able to strike back. John jumped onto a light chain, surfing the air and closing the gap. He vaulted off and slashed. Slash! He missed the vitals, but the crow grazed his arm. Blood sprayed. Active skill. Sacrifice. His wounds began to stitch back together. Fast. He is crazy fast. Even with my light steps, I can barely keep up. The crow's voice echoed. I heard you were trouble, but I still underestimated you. Lord Heimdall was right. You actually are a threat to the gods. John grinned, panting. I will take that as a compliment. Your composure actually surprises me. You really think you can kill me here? John toughened up. The northern gods can't end me yet. Not today. The prophecy's paradox protects me. I can win this. Suddenly, ancient runes flooded his sight, surging into his body. He launches into the air with a massive blade, but the nameless crow just sneers. You really think that slow attack hits me? To him, that giant sword makes John's movements look laughably slow, like a turtle trying to hit a hawk. Sure enough, the windup takes forever. The enemy grabs the opening, forcing John to twist violently just to block the counter. Yet, John is still as cocky as ever. Sorry to disappoint, but you are not that impressive either. Suddenly, the nameless crow stumbles back, gasping for air. Something is off. His stamina is draining, and his mask lens shatters into a million pieces. How dare a mere human do this to me? Roaring in fury, the crow charges, swinging a chain and dagger like a maniac. John's sword easily stops the puny dagger, but then the massive blade turns gray and vanishes into nothing. Your intel on me is trash, totally outdated. John slides back to create some breathing room. He kills the projection and triggers a new skill, magic artifact materialization. He successfully conjures a new weapon, the Fang of Nidhogg. I really didn't want to start with a weapon this OP. With lightning speed, John twists and thrusts the Fang of Nidhogg down. The nameless crow is frozen in shock. What is that? I've never heard of him having such a terrifying aura. John smirks. He can see the pure fear written all over the crow's face. Did he really think he could predict everything? Welcome to the variable you never saw coming. While the enemy crumbles, John strikes. Light bind. Shining chains explode outward, instantly locking down the crow's arm. Grabbing the moment, John unleashes a flurry of slashes. The nameless crow screams in agony as steel meets flesh. System alert. The Fang of Nidhogg's passive is active. Deadly poison is injected into the target. The stacks are rising. John grins at the news. This S-rank artifact is even better than he imagined, but suddenly, the crow shatters the light chains and breaks free. How dare you, the crow howls, using an S-rank weapon powered by that bastard I hate the most. Fueled by pure rage, he clashes with John in a storm of violence. Blow for blow, they trade attacks until the nameless crow suddenly freezes. Struggling to move? John asks, grinning. Looks like the neurotoxin has finally kicked in. How the tables have turned. Damn you, the crow hissed. If it comes to this, for Valhalla's glory, I will do what must be done. You think you have won? Who said anything about actually killing you? Before Jen can react, the crow burns his remaining life force and dashes past him. That coward isn't fleeing, he's targeting Ina. She frantically throws up a protective barrier, but against the crow's desperate charge, it is as fragile as glass. He smashes through it instantly. Ina stands paralyzed, watching death approach in the form of a crimson demon. John grits his teeth, adrenaline spiking. Get down, he roars, hurling the Fang of Nidhogg with everything he has. The blade streaks through the air like a missile. AA's soul nearly leaves her body as the deadly steel flies straight toward her. Later, Ina sits on the ground, consumed by guilt. She feels useless, a burden who almost got her crush killed. She glances at the boy sleeping, exhausted on her shoulder. Thank God he's not seriously hurt, but questions swirl in her mind. Who was that enemy? Why did this happen? John seemed to know him, and that magic signature. It felt exactly like that incident. Are the two events connected? Lost in thought, she reaches out to gently stroke John's hair. Suddenly, he groans and wakes up. AA turns beet red, caught in the act. John stares right into her eyes from point-blank range. Ina panics, completely forgetting how to function. Have you been here the whole time? He asks softly. Thanks. Flustered, she stammers. Ah, of course, it's the least I could do. After the awkward small talk, a heavy silence falls between them. Finally, Jan breaks the tension. Aina, I know. About that time, I actually know what you wanted to say. AA freezes. Jan looks at her with deep regret and gently touches her shoulder. What I'm about to say might hurt you. Please don't overthink it, but listen to me. There is a responsibility I carry, a duty I must fulfill first. That is the reason I can't. Before he can finish, she gently places her hand over his mouth. Let's not talk about this right now, okay? She lowers her head, hiding her expression. I'm sorry, Jen. I'm not ready to hear the rest. Whatever your answer is, keep it for now. I will wait. Wait until you have finished what you need to do. So, tell me then, okay? Tears stream down her face, yet she forces a brave smile, a bittersweet expression that breaks his heart. Jean gently wipes her tears away, saying nothing. They sit there in the quiet aftermath, sharing the heavy weight of unspoken words. Later, John replays the moment in his mind. Why did he stop her? Why couldn't he just give her the answer she deserved? I know she likes me, so why am I acting like this? Giving false hope is the cruelest thing I could do. He lands heavily on the training floor. A goblin screeches, rushing him. John leaps, crushing its skull with one brutal kick. He spins, raining light chains down on the rest of the horde. System quest progress increased. Level up. John channels his frustration into his fist, unleashing a storm force punch that obliterates everything in front of him. System. New skill unlocked. A protective aura now surrounds you, increasing defense. I can feel the barrier, Jihan mutters, inspecting his hands. But I still don't understand how it works. Suddenly, space warps and Hela appears from nowhere. Right now, the truth remains a shadow to you. But soon, you will comprehend the entirety of this world. If anyone possesses the capacity to achieve this impossibility, it is you and you alone. Hela steps closer to John with a knowing smile on her lips. Huh? Why the riddles all of a sudden? It sounds like a farewell speech. Vague prophecies won't work on me. Hela let out a heavy sigh. Is that so? Well then she falls silent. Deep within, a desperate hope burned that one day her existence would no longer be necessary for him, because only then, only when he stands alone, can he truly awaken the dormant devastation of his true power. The next morning, Jihan was casually strolling to class when a massive figure blocked his path. I am Jong Hun, a third-year senior. I also serve as the master of the Guardian Guild. John instantly recalled the name the Guardian Guild, the Academy's supreme combat force. Even a lowly member there possessed strength that commanded serious respect. However, compared to the monsters of Northern Europe, they were nothing more than mosquitoes biting into steel. I'm here to extend a formal invitation to the Guardians. Hold it right there. A blonde senior sprints over, breathless and frantic. Who gave you permission to poach members on my turf? John is joining the Grace Guild. Back off. Don't be ridiculous. A silver-haired senior swaggered onto the scene, exuding arrogance. He belongs with us in the Garum Guild. The three captains caused a commotion, drawing a massive crowd. Seniors, please control yourselves. Everyone is staring. And could you spare me a moment? Suddenly, a white-haired beauty pierced through the crowd. I am Che from the Three Eyes Guild. Jihan froze. He remembered them from his past life as a conqueror. I am not here to recruit you. I just wanted to say hello, Jihan replied bluntly. Next time, talk to me when there aren't so many witnesses around. Talking right now is risky. He flashed a smile sharp enough to cut glass. The silver-haired captain snapped, losing his cool. Enough talk. I am telling you again, Jihan is joining Garum. Step aside, senior. Jihan shut him down, his voice slicing through the noise. Let us get one thing straight. I have zero intention of joining any guild. The rival captains froze, their brains totally short-circuiting. Jong Hyun broke the silence. Fine. Then what is your big plan? I know you are Yu Songgun's student, but a solo conqueror? You will be stuck grinding trash missions for pennies. I never said I would continue as a solo conqueror, did I? Before he could finish, the silver-haired senior grabbed him by the collar. What the hell is that supposed to mean, brat? Talk! I suggest you take your hand off me now. Jihan's voice went ice cold. It was a warning for the senior's own safety. Raw-killing intent made the captain shake and let go. Jihan dusted off his shoulder, then dropped a total bombshell. I am starting my own guild. The crowd went dead silent. Only Jong Hyun smiled, intrigued. Later, the three captains held a secret crisis meeting. The silver-haired guy was already losing it. No matter how I look at it, the kid is delusional. Is he insane? How can a first-year freshman start a guild? He lowered his voice, giving the blonde captain a headache. I do not get it either. Jong Hyun weighed the impossible odds. A rookie starting a guild. There is no rule against it, but practically, it is an impossible wall for a first-year student. It takes expert knowledge and the completion of elite missions, and most importantly, he would have to do it alone without any help from seniors or the professors. True, but here is the problem. He meant it. I believe he truly intends to build an empire. What? You just said that was impossible? What is the main factor? Influence. Raw political power inside the academy. Rich clan kids and powerful families are hard to move. Elites with special abilities are even tougher. But those rules do not apply to him. Look at Jihan's circle. His friends are all elites, famous alchemists, heavy tanks, and top-tier support players. That is why he rejected us. He never needed us to begin with. Damn it, this is going to be one massive headache. We need a new plan for Jihan. With that squad, he could wreck the power balance of the entire academy. Other guilds will be fighting just for survival. If things get ugly, the Guardians might actually step in. All this stress over one freshman. Kang Diap, be real. Could you actually beat Jihan in a 1 versus 10 fight? Diap stayed silent. Jong Hyun stood up to leave. Our doors are open. We will wait. The meeting ended on a heavy note. Jong Hyun remembered Jihan threatening Duyap. He realized a true monster had already infiltrated the academy ranks. He is the second monster, a threat as big as Seon. I need to keep a close eye on him. While the big guild scrambled to fix their territory, Jihan casually dropped his revolution on his friends. Yujung looked like the sky was falling. She stared at him in total shock. Yeah, we do not need anyone else's guild. No, wait, hold on. Even if that is true, aren't we still just first-year students? If the big guilds feel threatened, we are walking straight into a total nightmare. Hoyan's voice shook with worry while Yang shifted nervously in his seat. He is right. The idea of waging war against the Academy's titans is terrifying. Seyun crossed her arms, her face dark with total annoyance. I thought you called me here for a real emergency, but it is just this? Jihan dodged the tension. Let us talk rewards. We just need to become strong enough to crush anyone who stands in our way. Jihan ignored Seyun completely, making her fume silently. He continued, his voice steady. This path is only natural. It is way better than being a pawn in some other guild. I have no objections. AA was the first to back him. If that is the plan, count me in too. Yang nodded quickly. Soyun pressed the issue, her eyes narrowing. Cut to the chase. How are you paying us without guild points? Are we just supposed to starve? Jihan let out a playful sigh, a smirk tugging at his lips. Between the top-rank rewards, guild raid loot, and mission bonuses, I am sitting on a mountain of cash, at least a few million points, so do not worry about your salaries. The room went silent. This lunatic is filthy rich. Yu Jung stared in disbelief, realizing his friend was a walking vault. And yet you never once bought us dinner. Fine. Tonight we feast. Out of nowhere, a sleepy voice speaks up. What are you doing here? Sihan rubs her eyes, looking dazed. Didn't you see me? I just want to join the guild. Is that a crime? She smirks. Besides, I am enrolling in Mus Academy next year regardless. With those skills, I can't do much for free. Before she can keep whining, Jihan uses his manipulation skill right on her vocal cords. This place will be a total blast since everyone here is a moron. She cheers without meaning to. Her face goes pale as she slams a hand over her own big mouth. The room explodes in anger, leaving Sihan crying fake rivers of tears. Meanwhile, the mastermind John laughs like a maniac at her. That's what happens when your mouth runs faster than your brain. Dissing your seniors? Huge mistake. He perks up. Anyway, our situation isn't as bad as you think. Everyone here has a special talent. Han appears behind Hoon like a ghost. A creepy smile is on his face. If we build this guild right, we'll break the limits holding us back. Hoon turns to him, eyes full of respect. I swear my total loyalty to this guild. Ara narrows her eyes, looking totally determined. I will protect Jan with my own 2 hands. I will give my all to this cause. Is it just me or does something feel weird? Yujang whispers, shaking. Seo nods. Every time Jan smiles like that, total disaster follows. Did you two say something? The girls freeze, turning pale as they shake their heads. Obviously, getting strong requires training from hell. Since that is a given, there is no need to worry. I will personally oversee every single second of your training and combat simulations. So, are you ready to sign your souls away? Cut to the Mus Academy gym. This isn't just any ordinary workout spot. It is a fortress packed with high-grade artifacts and the latest training gear. Only top-ranked students and elite guildmasters get in. It's a sanctuary for the powerful. Damn it all. Yu Jung is pancaked on the floor, the room spinning. I thought we were going to party. I just want to chill. Sihan is next to her, looking like her soul is leaving her body. Ya rushes over with recovery potions. Drink this. My muscles, they feel like they are being torn to pieces, Honan cries out. Can we please stop? Jan's shadow hangs over them. Muscles have to tear to get stronger. Yan grabs the potion from Yang, looking like a demon. Don't waste a single drop. Chug it. Seo jumps up, pointing a shaking finger at Yang. You traitor. Yang hides behind Jan, crying. I am sorry. I just hate violence. Stop whining. 2 more sets. Under the surface, this gym has a scary secret. The gravity here can crush your body, forcing your strength and endurance to explode. Every piece of gear is tuned to weigh way more than normal. Even Ina is gasping for air, sweat dripping down her face. Jan watches them, thinking of the past. Danger hits without any warning. He has to make sure history does not repeat itself. They need to be monsters. They can't be dead weight. When the real war starts, they have got to be strong enough to survive alone. This is the way. Survival isn't a gift, it is earned. So, a fake dungeon raid? Sunun and Yan sit together, smiling, but hiding what they are actually thinking. So, you planning to jump ship to another guild? Sunun blinks, totally caught off guard. Excuse me? What are you saying? I know the Curator Guild reached out. They even offered the Fang of Nidhogg as a signing bonus. He leans in. If I wanted to quit, would you let me? Huh, no way, especially not to those vultures at Curator. She stands up, the playful vibe vanishing as she steps closer. I called you here to make one thing very clear. Her eyes lock onto his with crazy intensity. I am never letting anyone steal you away from me. I'm not the kind of fool who hands over a prize disciple to a rival. Sun lifts Jan's chin, bringing his face dangerously close to the boy's. And you? You have absolutely no reason to walk away from your current throne, even if the offer includes one of the rarest artifacts in existence, right? True. Even so, if you made a reasonable request instead, I would still do my best to make it happen. Not a bad deal, right? Definitely. I really have no plan to leave your side. With Azuma here, why would I go anywhere else? Your sweet lies almost convinced me, though. What a pity. Jan smiles brightly, his eyes curving into crescents, but his mind is thinking about that guy. That man will definitely target me during the practical training. I have got to be ready for every possible scenario. With that resolved, Jan takes the lead, guiding the group onto the bus. Let's give it everything we have got, guys. This event marks the real start of our guild. Totally, Hoon replies with a ton of energy. Meanwhile, Duong was shaking and sobbing until So-yoon smacked him to snap him out of it. Quit shaking, she snapped. But the fear was real. From here on, it was all for keeps. She was dead right. No more playing pretend. This was live combat against actual, bloodthirsty monsters. Even with veteran hunters clearing the zone, this training mission was far from safe. Yurong shivered while venting her anxiety. The pressure was getting way too heavy to carry. Just chill a bit. We have to stay sharp during the exercise anyway. Yeah, I will try. Hey John, I have to know, why Team 9? It is just a number, right? Is there a reason? Honestly, I think it is more like I just hate the number. In Norse mythology, the number 9 is heavy. Thor was poisoned and only took 9 steps before he died. That is one reason. The number 9 always links back to critical events. John gave a creepy smile. I hate it. And that is exactly why I picked it. Aina and Dudong just stared. This dude had officially lost his damn mind. John glanced at her, then looked away. There are some things I just cannot forget. Being with you makes it hard to remember my real mission in this war. We are here. This is the gate to Do, the city where our hellish training begins. Listen up. Peace is over. Ja gave a stern warning before they disembarked from the ship. Stay sharp. You will not survive this place without being incredibly careful. Deep in Diu, Himdu watched from a rooftop. John is finally getting close. Another crow is gone. Himdu smirked. What a fun opponent. Now, the program host SJ took over the stage. Welcome to Global Raider Issues. She gestured for everyone to focus on what was happening on stage. Today, we have 2 special guests to talk about the Iceland ruins disaster. First up, appearing with a cold vibe, is the S-rank hunter and European Union representative, Balak. Then she pointed to the other figure, the first global S-rank mage representing the EU, Camila. Camila SJ looked at them both with a fake, friendly smile. Great to meet you both. Camila flashed a dazzling, overly friendly grin. The pleasure is all mine. She leaned in and sharply elbowed Balak. She lowered her voice with a sharp warning. Behave. We are here as reps for the European Union. He let out a cold sigh. Whatever. He stared down the audience. Look at these people. Balak was fuming, veins popping. Do they look like they respect us? Nope. Camila narrowed her eyes, instantly knowing what he was about to say. Are they being difficult? Look, I get it, she said in a quiet voice. But blowing up like this is a bad move. Balak just scowled. He glared at the host, a heavy suspicion poisoning his mind. They really think the European Union is the mastermind behind the looting of those ruins. He could not even deny it. No matter how they looked at it, we owned the ruins during the incident. The shadow of the real culprit flashed through his mind for a split second. Just thinking about that guy made him grind his teeth in pure rage. SJ smiled and kicked off the interview. Let's discuss the Iceland heist. Her face immediately turned smug and sarcastic. That news really shook things up, didn't it? That mocking tone made him want to jump up and bark back. But Camila was faster, quietly touching his leg with her foot to stop him. Balak saw her calm face. He sighed, swallowed his pride, and just listened. Why did 2 S-rank hunters fail to protect that place? Sadi gripped her notes and went for the kill, her voice cutting through. Why did the European alliance fail this crisis despite being the strongest power? She stared intensely at her data and then at her guests. The interrogation has begun. People want answers for this mess, she pressed. Care to share your take on this humiliation? Camila bowed her head, the weight of the defeat heavy in her voice. Please forgive us. We were just too weak. That is the truth. Sadie scowled, forcing a fake grin before totally roasting them. Yo, the trash talk is getting loud, she noted. Not just the locals, even the United States and Japan are clowning on you for this epic fail. You acted so tough after getting those ruin rights. Her eyes turned ice cold, scanning their faces for any sign of a total meltdown. So talk to me, how did you mess up the math? Bach groaned, looking like he was absolutely done with this drama. He suddenly broke the silence, making Sadie snap her head up. You definitely heard about that intruder. She nodded, picturing some creepy shadow dude lurking in the back of her head. Yeah, the legend who crushed the test your squad failed. The guy who looted the place then just pulled a disappearing act. They call him the Black Robe. Even the official papers say it is legit. Some mystery guy in a black cloak showed up and absolutely wrecked the place. Suddy sighed, faking a sad face. Look, people want the real tea, not excuses. Bach flinched, getting ready to blow his top with every single word. You calling me a liar? He snapped, and suddenly the whole room felt like it was running out of air. Sadie jumped, totally spooked by the vibe. Bah! Camila screamed, trying to hold him back, but the dude had officially lost it. He glared at the camera guy with psycho eyes and started stomping toward him like a literal final boss. The room felt deadly. Boach growled, making sure they heard every word. Listen up. That black robe guy is a beast. He grabbed the camera and pulled it in, getting right in the lens's face. He is so ridiculously strong that none of us could even land a tiny scratch on him. Even when Camila and I jumped him together, we were straight trash. Boach spat the words out with pure hate. Embarrassing? You think I care? Japan? America? I do not give a single damn what they think. Camila just facepalmed and sighed, unable to stop his crazy rant. Bach pointed a shaky finger at the screen, dropping a dark warning. You better hope you figure out how to handle him before you laugh at our mess. Because I am telling you now, he is coming back. Meanwhile, in a wrecked city, a bunch of kids listened closely to their orders. This training session is going to decide exactly where your whole life is headed. Mickey's voice cut through the air. This field training is going to last exactly 7 days. He scanned the students with cold eyes. Working with your squad is not a choice. It is required. He gave the gear to An Hyeon, sounding dead serious. We are only giving out the basic survival kits for each group. That is it. For a second, Mickey saw flashes of gross monsters and total nightmares from his past. Staying alive is all about actually using what you learned at the academy. Kill or be killed. That is the law. You cannot go more than 50 kilometers outside this zone. Break this rule and you fail instantly. Mickey kept talking, making sure every word hit like a brick. You have 2 major goals to hit this week. First and most importantly, stay alive. He stared hard at their young, clueless faces. This spot is technically safe, but do not get it twisted. For kids like you, death is still on the table. Mickey dropped some truth. If you make it through this hell, you prove you might actually become real raiders. It got quiet for a second before he dropped the next mission. Mission 2 is Total War. You have to hunt down and kill every monster you can find before time runs out. Do not just slay them, grab the loot and bring back their cores for proof. He ran through the ranks from basic orcs to elite beasts. The math is easy. The bigger the monster you take down, the more points you get. But look, being stupid is not being brave. Put your safety before glory. Suddenly, a hand went up. Sir, what if we hit a code red disaster? Mickey nodded. Do not sweat it. He pointed to 2 figures watching from above. A teacher will always be close by. Mickey stood with his hands on his hips, looking like the boss he is. If you see something you cannot kill, do not hide. Just run, bolt straight to where the teachers are. The kids swallowed hard, feeling the pressure. I will say it again. Your life is the only thing that actually matters out here. Nobody said a word. Since no one is asking anything, we are done. Mickey's voice boomed across the ruins. Good luck. You will need it. As they split up, the vibes got seriously intense. June's squad did not waste a second, grouping up for the real test. Sun started rising over the wreckage. Hun and Sojin checked out the relics in their hands, while Yu Jung and Aina gripped theirs, feeling the weight of the future. June's mouth twisted into a wild grin as his eyes lit up with pure hype. Those rings weren't just ice, they were the ultimate proof of their ride or die pact. He gripped his fist tight, a silent win echoing in his head. Fate finally handed him the ultimate jackpot. This relic was the total game changer for the storm coming their way. He snapped out of it, looking at his crew with pure hype. All right, let's move. Time to run the play. Morning light hit his face, feeling like a fresh start to the whole mess. While the squad was vibing, they weren't the only ones out there. Someone was lurking in the dark, watching them from afar. Hun Jin stood totally still, his eyes heavy with deep thoughts. It is on. Below him sat the wreckage of Do, a city where every single wall was completely trashed. June's squad targeted a hollowed-out skyscraper, a half-built wreck left over from the old days. The crew spread out, eyes peeled for any trouble. His face went stone cold as he took charge. At least we grabbed a solid spot to hold down. This will work for now. Desang's face lit up instantly. Man, up here, we can even dodge those high-level flying freaks. Things were looking up, but Seojin wasn't feeling the vibe at all. Her face was twisted in pure disgust. I bet some nasty creeps are gonna crawl out of this hole. The mood soured fast. He tried to give some lame advice. Don't be so hard on the bugs. She shut him down instantly. Zip it. The fact they even exist is a crime. Seojin's voice got louder, her temper flaring with every second. You really want me to make you say that again? Finally, June stepped in as lead to kill the drama. Stop messing around. Keep your heads on a swivel from here on. Yu Jung had been quiet, but then she dropped a truth bomb. Even with shelter, don't forget this is a sealed city. Her words lingered, making June go totally quiet. A sealed city, a massive reminder of how weak humans really are. That is what they call big cities that got absolutely wrecked during the monster invasion, just left to rot in the dark. Places like Do, North Gyeongun, and most of the southern islands were all cursed like this. This whole trip was meant to turn students into real survivors, just like the pro monster hunters. The academy basically threw them into this hellscape. Ina finally spoke up, her voice flat and calm. June is right. We gotta look reality in the face now. Meanwhile, Yu Jung was only thinking about one thing. I really hope I can rack up a massive mountain of points. Then I'm buying all the ice cream and hitting every restaurant I missed. Suddenly, she looked over at him with a shy, flirty look in her eyes. By the way, I heard the southern part of the school opened up a bunch of new food spots. Let's go together when this whole run is finally done. June was too busy overthinking, and she clicked her tongue in total letdown. He totally missed her move, just muttering about some new research zone. Points, right? His eyes went dark while he thought about the real problem. To the rest, this was just normal training. June compared his crew to Park Hun's squad. We are definitely at the top of the new recruit list. Even against the veteran groups, we are not falling behind. He looked ahead with a sharp, driven stare, but he got the chills thinking about that monster in a human mask. The biggest wild card in this whole event, he honorable. That guy's weird warning kept playing in his head. Don't forget this. He would find a way to hunt them down. Ina saw June spacing out and looked worried. June, you good? Are you finally back with us or what? Yeah, it is fine. Hoenn watched the two of them for a second before hitting them with a ton of questions. What is the deal? Why are you two acting so strange? Did something go down? The fast questions left June confused, not knowing what was up. Huh? What is wrong? Then Hoenn nailed the vibe perfectly. Nah, you two just look so awkward, like some couple having a stupid fight. He followed up with a sharp question. Did something happen this weekend? Ina kept a stone face. What are you even talking about? But inside, she was thinking about that mystery guy. His presence was suffocating, like a weight crushing everything around him. It felt like invisible chains were locking down her body and soul. Snapping back to it, Ina stayed quiet. Suddenly, Seojin's voice sliced through the air like a knife. Wait, someone is coming this way. That one morning killed the talk about their weekend. Somehow, June already had a pretty solid guess. Intruders who hate us. Probably something to do with Senior Seojin, right? She confirmed it immediately. 100% correct. More importantly, Seojin looked stone cold. Then she dropped a tactical nuke. You said it. You would take responsibility for me. You better be ready to back up those words and keep that promise. That sentence sent a massive shockwave through the other girls in Squad 9. Even these killers turned pale, their minds racing with messy ideas about responsibility. What is she even talking about? They all stared at the guy in the middle of this mess. June ignored the drama, his voice dropping into a command. Get ready for battle. As he finished, the enemy squad finally showed their faces. It was none other than Circle 6. A cocky smirk spread across June's face. I knew they would show up eventually. Memories came rushing back to when June was still part of Circle 6. She wondered why she should ditch her team for a rookie squad like Circle 9. June just nodded. Exactly. You catch on fast. She turned him down with style. You are still just a newbie, right? Whatever. You are different, but I have a reputation to protect. Her answer was cold and logical. You might not care, but I am satisfied with Circle 6. We have more people here, and I can earn way more points than in some new group. June was ready. Senior, you're missing the big picture. That comment set her off. Are you really trying to lecture me right now? Why not skip the drama and get to the point? Do you think those guys are actually your friends? When she hesitated, he said they were more like business partners. Then June pulled something from his inventory with a smirk. I don't think so. With one look, Sojin knew exactly what that recording orb was. A familiar voice came out. Sojin is just an errand girl. It was Naeun sounding totally bored. She can't even fight for real. What kind of conqueror is she anyway? Shinho joined in, sounding just as arrogant. She's basically my assistant, just an accessory to make me look cool. Suddenly, his vibe flipped. She's cute. I'll flirt with her. Who knows? She might fall for me. Of course, Shinho got angry and growled. You jerk. I saw her first. Don't touch her if you want to live. Total disgust filled Sojin's face as the recording played. She gritted her teeth and spat out the words. Those dirty jerks. She let out a long sigh and looked up. Fine, I get it. She finally agreed. How much are you paying me? June got the answer he wanted and smiled. That depends on your performance. Back in reality, facing her old team, Bichu acted tough. Do you really think you can steal our member and just walk away without a scratch? Minhun stayed quiet, thinking hard. The group his senior used to be in was definitely Circle 6. According to that recording, they were just using her. June put on an innocent face, acting totally sarcastic. Looks like you forgot how bad you got wrecked during the rookie hunt. Remembering that humiliation made Bichu act tough, I just let my guard down, he shouted at them. You think you can take all of us? June wasn't worried about numbers. Sorry, I am never alone. Powerful energy danced across his fingertips. Let me be clear. He tossed it carelessly, which was enough to terrify Bichu. Even Jill was shocked. I've gotten faster. He hid his surprise and gave a challenging smirk. Even if you all jump us, you can't beat a single one of us. The enemies looked worried. Golden lightning crackled in June's hand. He looked at Sojin, a scout with some serious talent. A spectral image of blue eyes appeared behind her. Bringing her onto the squad was a huge risk. June looked at the crowd in front of him. Honestly, it's nothing. He just smiled mysteriously. June looked up, sounding bored. Not coming at us? Bichu's voice shook. I must be wrong, you're just a rookie. June just smiled and stayed quiet. Seeing this, the leader screamed to kill him. A mob rushed toward June. His cold eyes scanned the crowd. The system interface popped up. Skill activated. Impenetrable defense. The attacker slammed into a solid wall. Shocked voices filled the air. How dare you? Hoon slammed a huge shield down. The system spoke. Your defense has increased by 1.5 times. They poured everything into the attack, but they couldn't even scratch the shield. Rowan gripped her staff tight. I'm here too. The system sent a new notification. Skill activated. Heavenly Wind Dance. The Circle's 6 members attacked the team's defensive layer. June watched the formation. Excellent. He felt proud. Training them was not a waste. He looked at Rowan. She mastered that defense spell. Seriously, everyone's progress was insane. Lee Jun just stared, unable to believe what he was seeing. What the hell? These attacks aren't doing squat. Bichu was just as shocked. This is actually happening. Someone started yelling, "Damn it, I knew this would blow up." Others got heated. "Who do you think you are?" touching the guildmaster's air. Aina finally cut loose. Aina looked at Jihoon, waiting for the final word. "Should I take them all on?" He just smirked coldly. "Yeah, don't leave anyone standing." Glowing green energy started exploding all around Aina. The system pinged with a sharp alert. Special skill activated. The Sword of Alheim. She raised her staff, forcing the mana to blast forward in a brutal charge right into the enemy. The magic hit them like a truck. Everyone started panicking and running, but those who looked back got caught in the blast instantly. A heavy boot stepped right into a weird green puddle. Big J slipped and fell hard as the thick slime covered him. He started clawing desperately at the green gunk on his uniform. What the hell? What is this trash? 2 shadows stood over him, sounding like they were having a blast. Solid work. Look at them. They can't even move. Desa pushed up his glasses, explaining the lethal mix. Exactly. I mixed slime extract with paralysis spores for this. It works perfectly. They're pinned to the floor. Big J roared. "You stuttering piece of garbage!" But then, a cold voice cut right through the noise. Big J's eyes nearly popped out. Jihoon walked up, his presence feeling heavy and dangerous. "Watch your mouth, punk." The thug struggled on the ground, trying to escape. "Why won't this slime let me go? You can't shake this off." Even with all my strength points. Ignoring him, Jihoon stepped right on Big J's back. "Any idea how much pain I can dish out before you finally kick the bucket?" The pressure on his spine increased. Big J let out a bone-chilling scream that made his fleeing goons stop in their tracks. Jihoon glared at them. "The rest of you can run, but this guy stays right here with me." He looked down at the man under his boot. After all, this loser is the one who started this mess. Scared to death, Big J screamed, "Wait, don't listen, help me." But his team just looked back with cold eyes. "You're crazy. Why would we stay for you?" They cursed him out as they turned and abandoned their leader. "You jerk. I knew you'd wreck everything. You should have known your place from the very beginning. Didn't you realize how outmatched we were?" Big J could only gasp, totally defeated and alone. "No, hold on." Big J reached out, but his team vanished. Jihoon shoved his hands in his pockets, looking cold. "So, what now?" He looked back. "My only goal was making sure this guy failed the event in total disgrace." Soon stood there, teeth clenched. "You absolute scumbag." Big J reached for her, looking desperate. Soon. "Wait, I did it for you." A voice like steel shut him down instantly. "Zip it." Soon pulled a shiny knife from her pocket and brushed back her hair. "You said it yourself, remember? I'm just a parasite, right? Only good for scouting." She gave a scary smile. "So, do me a favor and die." Big J turned white. She pinned him down, and that knife started coming down over and over again. A bit later, Hanok showed up, totally stunned. "Wait, you're telling me you took out the whole squad?" The battlefield was a total wasteland. He looked at the bodies. Team 6 weren't top rank, but they were solid mid-tier fighters with a huge numbers advantage. This shouldn't have been so simple. He stared at Jihoon's small team, unable to believe it. "You did all this with just a few people? What kind of monsters are you?" Jihoon looked away. "Just make sure they're still breathing. They don't get to die that easily." Hansuk felt a chill hit his spine. "Man, this guy is a straight-up demon." He turned to leave. "I'm out. Hopefully you can handle the upper-class wars later." Jihoon just nodded dismissively. "Yeah, whatever." Then he looked at the guy leaning against the pillar. "By the way, why'd you help?" Hansok didn't answer right away, just staring at the construction site and grumbling. "Everyone in Sector X is coming for you." Jihoon just shrugged. "So what? Let them come. They're just a bunch of idiots anyway." Hansuk sighed. "Fine." Inside, he was struggling. Why am I even taking this guy's side? Seeing Hanok turn to leave, Jihoon called out, "Hey, where you going? If you're just killing time, you should rethink that." He stopped, his face turning red. "Fine, I'll stick around for a bit, okay?" He turned back to the group. "I didn't think you'd actually be helpful. I thought you only knew how to pick fights," but his next words killed the vibe. "I hear you loud and clear. Wait, what was your name again?" Yu Jang whispered to the squad, stifling a laugh. "So, is he Lu Hu or something?" The name didn't ring a bell for Ina either, never heard of the guy. So Aun didn't even try to whisper. "Who the hell is that guy?" Hanok was fuming, knuckles white from the total disrespect. "You guys should have my name memorized by now." He flashed back to that meeting room disaster where this whole mess started. He slammed the table, totally pissed. "I don't agree. What are you even talking about right now? You want us to gank Min Woo?" Big J looked at him with bored eyes. "Why do you think you can't handle it?" Hans tried to reason. That's not the point. He pitched a new strategy while Soon walked off. I have a better idea. No problem. Big J shut him down before he could finish. Is that really such a big deal to you? So Huck. The cold, heartless tone in his voice made him freeze right where he stood. He didn't want to waste another second arguing and headed for the exit. It was over. But the other guy smirked, patting CO Hook on the shoulder. I like a rookie who knows his place. That one line made him snap. His patience was officially gone. Since when did he get so cold and calculated? Just because you hate someone, you want to break their bones? What kind of sick, twisted logic was that? Fuming with rage, he gritted his teeth and prepared to storm out. I can't stay in a squad like this. Then, CO's voice dropped. Real low. No, actually, I just changed my mind. I'm out. Clearly, I'm not wanted here. Besides, I'm sure you guys have plenty of shady secrets to talk about. Jiun didn't even look his way. Fine, do whatever you want. It's your funeral. Not the reaction Suk wanted. He roared in frustration. Next time we meet, I'm getting my payback. Mark my words. You better be ready. The room turned ice cold instantly. Jiune shot him a look that could kill. You really challenging me right now? A creepy grin twisted his face as he dropped one last threat and bolted. Glad you catch on so fast. That pathetic little show made Jiun let out a long, heavy sigh. Good grief, how does someone end up that messed up? He shook it off and trashed the thought immediately. He turned to the squad with a huge grin. Seeing them waiting, he dropped the news. All right, time to work. But So looked totally annoyed. You really expect us to start working the second we finish a fight? Ji-Hoon got all philosophical. With great power comes great responsibility. You seriously never heard that movie quote? She stayed quiet, which meant yes, but she still wanted a deal. So what's in it for me exactly? The area was a total wasteland. Still, there was a reason the Academy picked Du for this high-stakes mission. The city was locked down, but they wanted to take back the lost ground. Honestly, that was easier said than done. Du was ground zero. The exact spot where the world's very first gate ripped wide open. It was the first city to fall when the Ares arrived. Now, Giuni and the students were on a field trip with one goal, preparing to rebuild this entire dead zone. He'd heard the rumors. They said the disaster at the Dew Gate was a total nightmare, and his mother had been right there. Those statistics haunted him. After that disaster, records show only 3% of the population actually survived. But there was still a shred of light at the end of the tunnel, all thanks to the first hero, Juggin. Suddenly, a voice snapped him out of his spiraling thoughts. Ina called out softly, "Dinner's ready." Startled, he tripped over his words. Yeah, be there in a sec. She saw how stressed he looked and asked him what was up. You look lost. Is it that special power you mentioned? June didn't fake it. He just nodded with a weak smile. Something like that. Then, a trashy memory popped into his head. With your current stats, you'll never win. Hela's words stung his ego, but she wasn't cold enough to kill every spark of hope left in him. But you might have a shot if you can unlock your special skill. You gotta break your limits, just like Ina did. Hela pointed at him, looking dead serious. Special skills come from your state of mind. Jiyun hesitated, then took a wild guess. The user's willpower? Hela hovered in the air, nodding. Exactly. That's why you have to figure out what you really want. The next question made Hela grin. What do you crave the most? Why do you even need this power? Jiyune stared at his hand, thinking it over, and tightened his fist. Then he just let out a heavy sigh. How am I supposed to get her cryptic logic? Ina gave him a look of encouragement. I don't fully get it either, but I know you've got this. Jiyun closed his eyes, taking in her help. All right, since you are backing me up, he decided with a new surge of confidence. I am giving this everything I have got. His grit made Ina give a warm smile. Out of nowhere, a giant worm exploded from the asphalt, but Jiyun cut it down, sending the beast straight to hell before it could move. He looked at the corpse, giving Soon the lowdown. These worm things are a total pain to deal with. You never know where they will strike next. She looked ticked off, watching a claw drop from above. These harpies are way more annoying. She skewered it instantly, then stood back up to finish her thought. This is exactly why I absolutely hate anything with wings. While the others were chill, Yu Yung was a wreck. This place was a whole different beast compared to MS Academy. A massive, dark pit in the middle of the street had Squad 9 on edge and ready for anything. She felt it too and backed up her crew. Yeah, even the mana density in this air feels totally different. Cold sweat started dripping down her face. It feels even heavier than level M in the training room. They said these terraformed zones were wild, and they were not kidding. Right in the city center, something terrifying started to happen. This is what they call fieldization. It goes down when a dungeon break starts leaking into the real world. Monsters flood the area and claim it as their home. Pretty soon, a nasty, rotten energy starts poisoning the ground itself. This dark mana acts like a signal, calling even worse nightmares to the surface. So Un rubbed her chin, acting like some kind of professor. Then she dropped a question that made everyone facepalm. So, what does any of that actually mean? Zhang nearly died laughing before clapping back. What? Someone clearly skipped every single theory class we ever had. The total lack of respect had Soon fuming. She did not hesitate to raise a fist that promised a world of hurt. Jay sang out, "You little brat, do you want to die today?" The peacemaker Jae-hyun jumped in. Look, the mana density here is just crushing. This environment is pure poison. Humans cannot survive here. He thought back to the lessons burned into his brain. We can handle it as raiders, but for a normal person, just a whiff of this mana would be instant death. Lesson over. He stepped forward without a hint of fear. Let us move out. Stay sharp. In this freak show, anything can happen. The crew tightened their grip on their gear, eyes showing a mix of nerves and pure determination. Soon looked around quickly, dodging everyone's eyes. She crept over to June, her voice sinking into a sneaky low whisper. "You are really serious about taking down the boss monster?" June did not get the hint and shouted back. "Of course we are. I trust our scout with my life. That was the deal, remember?" So Yoon was really only thinking about her own skin. "Just do me one favor. If things go south, you get me out first, got it? I am not dying young today." Jae-hun stayed quiet and just gave a sharp, knowing smirk, so smiled back awkwardly, trying to hide how annoyed she was. He ignored her attitude and barked out an order. "Hey, move it," June answered, feeling a little bit rattled. "Oh, yeah, got it." Ina followed behind, acting cool as ice. But Yoo Jung did not even try to hide her temper. "You are way too pushy. That negotiation was a total bust." Soon scratched her head, looking completely fed up. "Damn it." Her reaction surprised Jae-hun. "What is the deal?" She lowered her voice to explain her side of things. "It is just that the risk here is through the roof. There is way too much cash riding on this bet." Soon turned away. "We could just hunt on our own, even if it takes longer." She took off her jacket, sounding sarcastic as hell. "Whatever. You are the boss around here, master." June turned his attention toward the massive skyscrapers towering over them. Yoo Jung stood there, totally blown away by how the city had changed. "I have to say, it is crazy to think this trash zone was fixed up so perfectly." She turned with a huge question. "This is his doing, right?" Ina blinked, totally confused. "Wait, who?" Soon laughed at her. "You are just like me, aren't you? I love that you do not bother with books. We should be besties." Jae-hyun finally cut into the conversation. "You are talking about J1, aren't you?" Yoo Jung lit up. "Bingo, that is the one." It finally clicked for Ina. "Oh, I have heard the stories about him." Young cut in, sharing the legends. "Even my old man said he could never beat Juan." As that name hung in the air, Jae-hyun said it quietly. Juan. Suddenly, a vision of the past hit him hard. The city of Dew was the first to fall, buried under a sea of cursed fire. The scream still echoed in his head. In those non-stop flames, monsters slaughtered people without a shred of mercy. No time to run, no way to fight back. People were stepped on like bugs. Tens of thousands were killed, mangled, or chased away from their homes. Just as humanity hit rock bottom, a single warrior with the power of a god appeared right in front of them. That hero's silhouette was burned deep into June's mind. It was the first awakener. Jan, lost in a memory. His body moved on pure instinct, ripping through enemies like they were nothing. Juan, the global icon who started this whole mess. June grabbed a dusty item. His eyes darkened as he gripped it tight, his voice sounding totally bitter. Even though the guy has totally vanished from existence, Yoo Jung sighed, trying to be nice. "Look, you picked his path. It makes sense that his crazy legacy is weighing you down right now." She stretched, trying to kill the tension. He vanished so fast. People say the monsters finally made him their lunch. The first one to use the Nordic system. Who was he? June was dying to know the truth about him. He couldn't help it. Who was Juan really? The questions just kept piling up in his head. Why was he the first with this power? How did he even unlock the system? He looked frustrated. Was this all just some huge coincidence? He shook it off, burying the thought. Not the time for a history lesson. June nodded right away. "Yeah, survival in this hellhole comes first." He gave a grim warning. "Even with teachers around, you can still end up dead here." The team moved out. Jae-hun and Jae-sang worked their butts off, but poor Jae-sang got cornered. So Yoon snapped, "Hey, hold that side steady." Seeing her lose it, he obeyed like a sad little puppy. "Sorry." They got a big armored tent up fast. Soon walked up to June and said, "I am back." She dropped the intel with cold precision. "Targets are confirmed. We are looking at Happy S and some goblins." He sighed heavily. This was going to be rough. Classic Soon. Though her intel is literally never wrong. Instead of taking the compliment, Soon looked annoyed. To her, being right wasn't a skill, it was the bare minimum. If I was wrong, would I even be alive? He shot back with a smirk. "Oh, is that how it works?" She actually went quiet for a second. Hearing that sharp tone, Jae-hun finally started taking things seriously. "You don't want credit." Suddenly, Soon tossed her dignity out the window for the reward. "You need anything else, boss?" June was totally wiped out. barely standing, but he still spoke up. I seriously couldn't do all this just for a paycheck. Seriously impressive. Jiang flashed a smile as bright as blooming flowers. Soon has been like this since the day we met. Before he could finish, she grabbed him by the collar. The only master I listen to is the one paying me. And that is not you. Soon stared into his soul, making every word count. Is that clear? Terrified, Jiang nodded. Crystal clear. As things calmed down, June saw someone was missing. Wait, where's Kim Do? June looked around, totally confused. No clue. She mumbled something about getting ready and just vanished, leaving him with a bunch of questions. Weird. She is not the type to slack off. Right as he said it, the girl herself made a super dramatic entrance. I am back. But the greeting was met with nothing but suspicion. Kim Dion, what the heck are you holding? Suddenly, a chill ran down his spine. Something was very, very wrong. The smell of death itself was wafting from the pot in Diane's hands. Everyone just froze in pure horror. But she killed the mood, setting it down with a proud grin. Making this was exhausting. Honestly, where would you guys be without me? June was the first one to find his voice. Is that supposed to be food? Diane didn't blink. Bingo. I added a secret sauce to those worms we caught earlier. His face turned purple as he stared at the disgusting meal. You actually want us to eat that? Diane stayed totally oblivious to their absolute terror. Of course. Do you even know how much work I put into this? Staring at the bubbling mess, he thought. If the boss eats this, he will die instantly. He sighed. Maybe he was overthinking. Meanwhile, far away from the chaos, Duan enjoyed some hot tea. Standing behind him, Jian finally broke the silence. So, when are we making our move? She waited patiently for his order. He lowered his cup, the clink echoing in the quiet room. Maybe it is time we return to the stage. June's face flashed in his mind. That game changer has been really busy lately. Jian nodded, agreeing about the new rising star. He might just be a kid testing his wings, but he is proving that the prophecy was real after all. But your power is still needed. Duan thought about it, finally deciding to step out of the shadows. I wonder, is my help actually needed? Then his voice got serious. But if things get bad, I will act. The scene cuts to a news broadcast. Where is Ji Wu, the first awakener and humanity's last hope? Where the hell did he go? The news anchor looked dead serious. Experts say if he's alive, his help crushing these crazy high-level gates would be worth its weight in gold. In the shadows, the missing legend whispered to himself. The one who changes everything. A smug grin crept across his face. Well, this is fascinating. Back at camp, June looked stone cold. Don't ever mess with a girl's food unless you're ready to die. Inside the pot, some thick purple sludge bubbled like liquid poison. Toxic fumes drifted off the surface, screaming danger to everyone. Duong balled her fists, totally offended. It's not even that bad, guys. Desperate for backup, she looked at Jiang. You agree, right? The poor guy shook, scratching his face with a fake, terrified smile. I think I'm gonna have to side with Jae Hyun here. Even Master June stuttered a hard no. Well, that's weird. Why am I not hungry? Duan leaned in way too close, her eyes narrowing. Not hungry, huh? You? The dude who eats double portions at the academy cafeteria? Sweat started pouring down his face like a waterfall. Yeah, even I lose my appetite sometimes. Hearing that, her eyes welled up. It was a total masterclass in fake heartbreak. You guys are so mean. Even Soon felt a little guilty. Suddenly, Du Yun grabbed her hands, looking like a sad, innocent puppy. Don't you think they're being way too hard on me? Soon's lip twitched as she faced that heavy, hopeful gaze. Duan flashed a huge smile and shoved the sketchy pot right toward her. At least you'll try the meal I spent all day making, right? Soon hesitated, looking away. Behind the cook's back, Jiang and June were frantically making X signs, shaking their heads in a silent plea for her to stay alive. Her face turned pale with real fear. But Diane just waited, looking totally convinced that Soon was going to say yes. Finally, she couldn't bring herself to crush Dion's spirit. Oh yeah, of course I'll try it. It's made of edible stuff, right? Why is everyone being so dramatic about it? Despite being cold, Soon was soft deep down. Her hand shook as she raised the spoon, whispering a silent prayer. I'll just take a bite, no big deal. Seconds later, she paid the ultimate price for being nice. She collapsed against the wall, gagging like crazy as her soul tried to exit her body. The air filled with pure agony. She heaved like a dying animal, clutching her stomach. This was exactly what June saw coming. He smirked, totally loving the show. See? This is why you listen to the experts. Soon scowled, her face twisted in pain. Hey, don't give me that look. Despite the teasing, he tossed her a recovery potion. How could I say no when you look that pathetic? You're a total softie. She snatched the vial and chugged it. Then she dropped a bomb out of nowhere. So, what actually happened between you and June blinked, totally caught off guard. Huh? Her gaze pierced right through his act. She felt the mood shift. Her voice went dead serious. I don't know the full story, but don't be too hard on her or the rest. June shrugged, looking totally relaxed. Fine, fine. Message received. He cracked a joke to kill the tension, but deep down he was actually impressed. Didn't think you were the type to care about people's feelings. Soon ground her teeth, annoyed again. He dropped his voice to a whisper. That's exactly why. I want to try and save everyone like a total idiot. What was that? She asked, missing his words. June spun around, dodging the question. It's nothing. We gotta move. It's getting dark out here. He flashed a cocky grin, his eyes glinting. You haven't forgotten our promise to take that guy down, right? Soon went quiet, her resolve hardening. I remember. Then her face turned green again. But first, can I wait for my stomach to stop dying? Before he could answer, she was heaving again, basically throwing her soul up onto the ground. Watching her suffer gave June a twisted idea. I wonder, he thought out loud, if Kim Doyen's cooking wrecks humans, maybe it's toxic to monsters too. He actually felt sorry for her. That recovery is going to take forever. Suddenly, a screech ripped through the air, echoing across the wasteland like a nightmare. June froze. He knew that cry. His face went from playful to dead serious in a heartbeat. Everyone, get inside right now. They're here. As he bolted, a system alert flashed for Jang. Enemy detected. Rank B monsters harpies. Jang primed the paralysis traps instantly. Du Yun and Ho Yan shifted into combat stances, weapons out and ready for blood. June barked orders with military precision. Ho Yan, take the front. Du Yun, support. Soon stepped forward, her face looking cold as ice. Magic gathered around her wand as she faced the horde. I just need to blast them with everything I've got, right? Jae-hyun smirked. Exactly. Move it. We hold the line here. The goal is clear. Protect that lone white tent sitting defenseless in the wasteland. Inside the shelter, everyone is losing it. Never thought we would see dozens of harpies. This is nuts. Du shakes his head, checking the threat with a grim look. This ain't normal. Harpies usually hunt in packs of 4 max. This is a special case, June adds. Jang looks totally confused. Special case is right. These monsters are overflowing with mana, which means a boss is calling the shots. Soon goes pale when she realizes the truth. An image flashes in June's mind, a winged nightmare from hell. The Harpy Queen. She is close for sure, June confirms. The tension in the room is straight up suffocating. Didn't expect her right on our doorstep. He shrugs it off. Doesn't matter. She is just another boss. She has to die regardless. We are just moving up the schedule. He pauses, planning, then nods with conviction. June turns to the group, his voice like steel. Hold this position. Don't let them pass until we return. He sees them hesitating. With Soon's tracking, finding that Queen is going to be a total walk in the park. Trust me, I can handle these trash mobs solo. No sweat. But Ho Yan steps up, looking seriously worried. Wait, shouldn't we go as a full squad? If things go south, we need backup. Jae-hyun shuts him down. No, if you tag along, you will just get hurt. It is harsh but true. Plus, I'm not here to babysit. Seeing their faces, he flashes a quick smile. Look, it's not like I don't trust you guys. I need you guys here holding down the fort. You are the final line of defense. We can't trust instructors. Ina nods first, getting the high stakes. Understood. We follow your lead. Du Yun clenches his fist in frustration. He hates staying behind, but being dead weight is way worse. Here, take these. Jang frantically shoves potions into June's arms. And this too. Fully geared, June and Soon step out. He glances back one last time. We will be back. Just stay alive. Ho Yan slams a fist to his chest. Count on us, man. If things get ugly, call us. Jae-hyun chuckles, shaking his head. Look at you getting all sentimental. Rare sight. The sky turns pitch black as the harpies descend. June doesn't even flinch. Relax. This won't take long. System, active skill triggered. Golden chains erupt from the void. A blinding storm of metal shreds every monster in an instant. Dust settles. I don't gamble, June states, his aura feeling absolutely massive right now. I only fight battles I have already won. Soon watches, shivering. Note to self, never piss this guy off. Silently, she follows the monster into the fray. She spins around, her expression turning dead serious. No matter how much she hated to admit it, Seojun had to face facts. Your team, they are absolute monsters. Now I see why you reign at the top. Even in the cutthroat world of the academy, you guys are truly in a league of your own. Hearing her admission, Jae-hyun pauses to reflect. The memory of the harpy fight plays back like a vivid nightmare. Back then, Seojun grit her teeth, ready to launch a reckless, straight-up suicide attack on the swarm. But Jae-hyun stepped in, a silent guardian shielding her from disaster. And Hyun raises his shield, voice booming with authority. I will take the vanguard. Beside him, Yuna and Kim Do-yoon drop into combat stances without a word. All right, let's do this. Above them, the sky turns black. Screeching winged beasts tear through the air. Ready for violence, Hoon summons a blade of glowing blue energy. Time to go to work. His eyes are like steel, pure discipline and resolve. The first beast dives like a heat-seeking missile. Boom! It crashes uselessly against his iron defense. Seeing the opening, Hun obliterates the creature in a heartbeat. Watching from the back, Jae-Hun analyzes the move. Extreme cold arts mixed with that brilliant blue sword. Interesting. Seeing that massive confidence, the verdict is clear. Hun has definitely broken through his limits. He is a solid A ranker now. His gaze shifts over to the team's support line. Watching Kim Do-yoon proves the rest are just as scary. She stands there, eyes closed, channeling pure mana. Instantly, the party's attack power jumps by 30%. Another beast, blind to the danger, swoops in for the kill. Dune doesn't flinch. One hand weaves a formation while the other grips her staff. She is locked on. Active skill. Windblade unleashed. Emerald light erupts from the array, swallowing the monster whole. Jae-Hyun watches calmly. This result is exactly what he calculated. Kim Do-yoon's casting speed has reached a whole new level. She has totally blown past the limits of B rank. Jae-Hun's lazy gaze drifts right. Enter Yuna. She is already mid-incantation. Ultimate skill Hellfire Alchemy. When the sequence hit, her eyes snapped open with a look colder than death. Boom! Arcane Blast just deleted the whole front line in a heartbeat. She flicked her wand like a boss conductor. Pure light flooded the field, turning those monsters into straight-up dust. The raw violence of it actually gave Jae-Hyun the chills. He had to face the facts. The real freak here wasn't the harpy, it was her. Girl was born a prodigy, a walking human disaster. That green-feathered freak twisted in pain as its body just crumbled. Watching her wreck stuff so calmly made Jae-Hyun sigh. Her talent is seriously cracked. Back in the real world, he just shrugged. But let's be real, I'm still the GOAT here. That ego immediately got under Seojin's skin. Do you even realize how much of a pain you are? Keep talking trash and you'll have zero friends. But Jae-Hyun didn't care. Like he gave a damn about being popular. Such a shame, he smirked. If they're mad that I'm the best, they should probably just get good. Seojin just sighed, totally exhausted. Classic genius talk. But that word genius, it actually hit a nerve with him. Jae-Hyun's face went dark. He never felt special. Not back in the day. Old, ugly memories started crawling back. You trying to get us killed? Meat shield? The raid leader barked orders like some dictator. Get that shield up right now. Hold the line. The constant trash talk made Jae-Hyun's blood boil. Is it really that hard to get? If you die in formation. Back then, he was totally alone. No real squad, just a disposable tool. Shaking off the past, Jae-Hyun suddenly flipped the script. Anyway, nice job. Looks like you finally found your lane. He paused, grinning. But the best part? Definitely Kim Do-yoon's cooking. That random comment earned him a massive death glare from Seojin. Her eyes shot daggers. You're kidding, right? Jae-Hyun completely ignored the fact that she wanted to kill him. Hey, at least you stayed awake this time. He pushed the door open, dropping his voice to a low whisper. Listen up. Watch everything. Even how you breathe in here. One slip up means game over. Seojun rolled her eyes, acting like she didn't care. If things go sideways, we bolt. I am way too young and attractive to die today. Their banter was sharp and fast. Technically, I'm a year younger than you, so actually use your skills for once. Don't you respect your elders? I think I've shown enough. Seojin didn't even bother arguing anymore. Just shut your mouth. But inside, she locked in. Whatever happens, I'll handle it. I have to. Outside, the monster horde prowled, smelling for fresh meat. Inside, Seojin crossed her arms, feeling the nerves kick in. She watched Jae-Hyun's back. She knew one thing for certain. This guy wasn't the type to fold just because death was knocking. Suddenly ding. System warning. Area 1 boss detected. Seojin's face went totally pale with horror. But on Jae-Hyun, a twisted, dark smile started to creep up. A massive shadow dropped down. Huge wings covered in bright pink feathers filled the entire corridor. Sharp black talons clicked in the air. The Harpy Queen hovered there in all her scary glory. While Seojin froze, Jae-Hyun just stepped forward. Pure excitement danced in his eyes. The gap between his thrill and Seojin's total shock was insane. Jae-Hyun scanned the beast from head to toe, an A+ rank boss. His grin turned into a straight-up predator's snarl. If I drop that thing, the legendary loot is mine. The more he planned, the more inhuman that smile became. It was honestly chilling seeing Jae-Hyun go so quiet. Seojin started breaking into a serious cold sweat. She couldn't hide her shock, wondering if he'd finally lost his mind. Jae-Hyun popped his active skill, demonic treasure formation, to forge the weapon Nidhogg's Fang. The whole process left her jaw on the floor. Yeah, go ahead and scream when you see him flexing that new gear. That specific item sold for an insane amount of money at the most recent auction. Meanwhile, the Harpy Queen crashed down, shooting razor-sharp feathers everywhere. Seojin barely managed to dodge the surprise attack. I can't believe he's mocking me right now. I told you to stay put. She went from embarrassed to totally furious. Shut up. While they argued, the harpy went on a rampage. Ignoring the chaos, he charged forward, gripping Nidhogg's fang and planning his next move. On paper, she's weaker than me, but still dangerous. Jae-hyun noted the gap, mostly because the thing could actually fly. The ground behind him blew up the second he dodged. But the real red flag? The harpy's eyes were glowing with intense energy. She was way stronger than she used to be before his regression. Everything clicked, and Jae-hyun's confidence soared. Now I get it. As the monster spun, firing feathers, two blazing golden orbs appeared in midair. Jae-hyun didn't even flinch, letting the orbs block the harpy's attacks. Watching her get even more aggressive, he knew for sure she had evolved. An A-rank monster from his past life was never this cracked, but Jae-hyun didn't blink. What did it all mean? His elbow grazed a golden chain before vanishing with godlike speed. Ji-hoon soared through the opening above the harpy's head. That crazy strength meant he had interfered. He quickly glanced back to see the damage and assess the situation. She was safe, brandishing razor-sharp talons, but Ji-hoon countered by driving Nidhogg's fang straight into the enemy. Coming out to play is better than hiding. The harpy's body tore open, popping with lightning from his massive energy dump. Landing like a boss, purple mist still smoked off his blade. Above him, a whole cloud of crows scattered everywhere. One crow silently ghosted toward a magnificent palace, landing right on Hyojin's shoulder. Called it. My prediction was correct. He listened to the birds spill the tea. Hyojin remembered Himdu's arrogant trash talk. Honestly, can Himdu actually handle his task? He closed his eyes, overthinking the whole situation in deep thought. His tired eyes snapped open for a split second before he vanished, leaving only drifting feathers behind. Whatever, not my problem anymore. Then, a system notification flashed. You have successfully taken down Queen Harpy, the final boss of Lockdown City's first sector. Go claim your reward at the Queen's Nest. Battle finished. Ji-han put his weapon away. Stashing it in his gear, he tried to play it cool. Finally, those storm wings are mine. Ji-hoon looked back at a pissed-off Si-yoon and asked, What's the holdup? Let's move. She let out a heavy sigh. Soon muttered, Fine. After a beat, she said, You have officially lost your damn mind. Ji-yoon ignored her, eyes on the prize. He found the stash in the harpy's lair and grinned like a winner. Gotcha. Right there sat an item dripping with a dark vibe. A stat window appeared. It is a support item. Wings in the Eye of the Storm, S rank, inspired by the Helheim radio storms, gives midair steps, plus 50 agility, plus 50 strength. Skill effects are amplified for max power. Ji-yoon smirked at the huge stats. This will do. The buffs and status boosts were legit. He checked out his new shiny loot. Of course, the unique skill was the real flex. A second later, the system described the active skill. Mid-air step, rank A+, creates a fake wall in the air for a double jump. You can use it twice. Ji-yoon smiled. Before the rewind, some fake pro used these wings to fly up the leaderboards like a kite in the wind. He thought to himself, that won't happen again. Because these wings belong to me now. Nearby, Seo-yoon gasped. Wait, what's that? Ji-hoon followed her finger and totally froze up. He looked at a white thing far away. Is that a glove? Ji-hoon grabbed it immediately. A system ping went off. You absorbed the original gloves, updating data on the Nonia system's first awakener. Elsewhere, Yu Jung wiped some sweat off her head. Phew. She looked totally stressed and anxious. Are we done yet? An stood there, looking hyped as hell. Aren't we close to the all-time record? I think we are absolutely killing it. Yu Jung smirked and flipped her hair the second he spoke. Obviously, you hit the jackpot teaming up with me. But June stayed lost in his own head, staring at the gauntlets. He remembered that system alert from before. The Nornia system updated info on the first awakener, which sent him into a deep spiral of thought. In this world, only one guy had that legendary title. Cho-gi, the global pioneer and Korea's #1 hero. Why flag him now? This was chilling. He was definitely plugged right into the system's core. Yu Jang leaned over, snapping him out of it. Huh? Did you say something? June faked a weird smile. She jumped back, eyes flashing with annoyance. Hey, I told you, don't mess with the hair. June's mind raced. Why were that man's gauntlets here? This was definitely not a sign of good luck. Finally noticing her, June walked over. He sounded super guilty. I am sorry. I shouldn't have sent you out scouting when you were already dead tired. She replied calmly. No, it's my job. You have your own problems. Suddenly, Yu Jong screamed, Disaster! Ina turned around fast. What? Yu Jong stood there crying, voice shaking. My necklace. I lost it. This is a total nightmare. Then, a hand dangled the chain right in her face. Her mood changed instantly, doing a total 180. Whoa, how did you know? You are kind of a creep, June said softly. It's your bad habit. Besides, your mother personally asked me to watch over you. Yu Jong's face flushed a deep crimson. I'll talk to her. But thanks, I guess, she muttered, trying to act like it was no big deal. Give your mom a reason to trust you first. That burn left her totally speechless. Everyone started laughing, which sent Yu Jung into a massive red-hot rage. You really gonna laugh at me? Ina just sat there, watching the fireworks. Suddenly, Jun's whole vibe changed. He looked at his team, looking all serious and intense. Kim Yu Jung, grow up already. No more screwing up. She just scowled. Cut it with the lectures. Hoon watched them bickering with wide eyes, totally curious. Wait, are you two actually a thing? June shut it down instantly. No, Yu Jung looked like she wanted to kill him. You want a funeral? A finger tapped Hoon. Hoon jumped out of his skin. Enon whispered. They said no, just drop it before you end up dead. Meanwhile, in a world far beyond humans, Castle Valhalla, the epic palace of legendary warriors and eternal pleasure. Thor cracked up, holding a golden cup high. Haha, incredible. He was absolutely loving the victory right now. War plans were looking solid, and Heimdall was about to wipe his biggest enemy off the map for good. Thor thought about that specific guy. Heimdall was a hothead, but taking out a puny human was basically child's play. Thor smirked. This time the Acier rule the 9 realms forever. He looked over at the empty throne. Odin will be hyped. But then, a voice dripping with hate killed the vibe. What a disloyal hypocrite you are. You are throwing a party while Odin's missing? Tyr stepped out, his voice sharp as a razor blade. Thor, do you even care about Ragnarok? Thor just rolled his eyes. Oh please, look who is talking. Thor sneered, digging into an old wound, especially since you let Fenrir bite your right arm off. Tyr stayed ice cold. Thanks for the concern. Then, he fired back with a verbal slap that made Thor's blood boil instantly. At least I do not have a wet stone stuck in my head like some giant's toy. Tyr kept going. He kept pushing. You carry Mjolnir, yet you wear that mark of shame. If I were you, I would use that hammer to end it. That did it. Thor ground his teeth, his temper finally exploding like a volcano. He slammed his fist down. You want to see who is stronger? Let us go, right here, right now. The air turned heavy and suffocating with their bloodlust. Suddenly, a powerful voice cut through. Enough, Sigrun warned. Do you both want to get suspended? Finally, Free broke her silence. Valhalla's power is slipping away. Harvesting souls is way behind schedule. She looked annoyed. Ragnarok has everyone stressed. This is clearly all Odin's fault. She sounded totally fed up. Insolence. How dare you talk about the master of the Acier like that? Sigrun was fuming. I am not about to flatter Odin. He might have power, but to me, he is just trash. Frigg roared back, refusing to back down. How dare you say that? Her voice dropped to a terrifying whisper. Surely you have not forgotten the horrible things Odin did to me. Pure rage started to surge. A dark, heavy killing intent filled the room, making the entire place shake with pure terror. Frozen by the insane pressure, Frigg stood there in total shock. After a long silence, Sigrun spoke up again. Listen up. The plans for the second ending are finally done. Her voice rang out with total, unstoppable focus. Flash to the city. High up on a rooftop, Giune stood alone, looking down at the massive world below. His brain raced, connecting the dots. If Heimdall is already messing with things, it is only a matter of time before he shows up. He glared at the sky. He had to awaken his special skill immediately. Later, Soon sat across from Giune with a small smile. You are seriously greedy, Jiyoon. She sighed, looking at him with real respect. You already have insane power, but you still want another special skill. Jiyoon gave her a nervous, awkward laugh. Well, I could never match the high standards of the association. He looked away, feeling a bit embarrassed. Soon thought about it for a second. Honestly, I do not think I can help you much with that. For me, it just happened out of nowhere. Jiyoon looked confused. She took a sip of tea, looking serious. Yeah. Her reflection rippled in the cup, masking a deep, hidden pain inside. Every detail from that day is still burned into my brain. The trauma came back. She was kneeling in the rain, totally paralyzed by despair as a massive gate suddenly ripped open right in the middle of the busy street. Vicious monsters poured from the void. They killed everyone in sight. People were dropping like flies, helpless. In all that screaming chaos, she stayed frozen. Her fear had her locked up. She was a statue watching hell, watching people get eaten alive. Desperate souls running for nothing just to catch a grisly end. There is one image Soon can never unsee, a little girl hauling tail with everything she had. Then she tripped and slammed into the hard concrete, but Soon just sat there, staring like a total zombie. Cold sweat soaked her skin, but her legs would not move. She was completely useless. She just watched that innocent life get totally snuffed out right in front of her. At the final second, Soon finally snapped out of it. She jumped up, desperate to flip the script. She reached out, trying to grab the girl, but it was a total waste of time. By the time she checked back in, the girl's bloody, lifeless body was already in her arms. Even with her new powers, she couldn't save one single kid. Was she just too weak, or was she too big of a coward to face the heat? Like you know, Jiyoon, this whole world is built on suffering. The second that kid's heart stopped, a blinding gold light dropped from the sky, swallowing Soon. She finally awakened a new power. Angel wings popped out behind her. The skill was called Sacrifice. With that juice, she absolutely wrecked those monsters. But when the carnage stopped, the little girl turned into dust and just vanished. Soon felt all that sin on her hands. She choked back her screams, crying silently as the guilt ate her alive. Back in the now, Soon's voice shook with pain. I got power, but I still can't bring back the dead. I've mentioned this before, right? June locked in, soaking up every heavy word she said. A healer remembers the ones they lost way longer than the ones they saved. She grabbed the armrest and slowly stood up. Soon floated past him like a phantom. You said you wanted to learn an intrinsic skill as soon as possible, right? Her vibe got heavy. Honestly, she dropped the truth. I don't even know how to teach you. Jiyun looked up, totally shocked. Soon put a hand on his shoulder. But Jiyun, her voice went soft and pleading. You don't need to rush this. I don't want you going through what I did. I don't want you losing what matters most just for some power. But even after that, Jiyun didn't flinch. If she doesn't know, maybe Ina does. He turned to Ina, looking dead serious. I need to ask you something. No hesitation. How exactly did you get your intrinsic skill? He had to know the truth before he lost everything he loved. Ina didn't even look surprised by the question. Jiyun, she balled her fist, looking a bit shaky. I only got this skill because my family died. Her eyes went ice cold. Truth is, I let them die. Her voice was totally flat, zero emotion. Under that bloody sunset, she said the unthinkable. It was a good thing they died. Then the flashback hit. She was only 5 years old. That funeral home was suffocating, smelling like incense and pure sadness. Grandma held her tight, tears streaming down her face. But Ina was just a kid. She was too young to get what was happening. Since she was little, ice seemed to coat her soul. She was totally cold, unlike her warm-hearted grandmother. But reality is trash. Staring at the pictures of her dead parents, Ina knew the real deal. She was all alone, or so she thought, until she and her grandma moved in with her aunt. It was just some boring apartment complex. But Ina tried to find a little joy inside those gray walls. Even as an orphan, she wasn't alone. But her aunt was toxic, constantly trashing Ina for just existing. It was brutal. She would find any reason to punish her. While Ina stood there paying for nothing, a familiar warmth broke the tension. A voice that finally melted the ice. A real smile hit Ina's face. She sprinted toward her grandma without hesitation. Because in this cold world, she still had a shield. Grandma treated her with a kindness nobody else had. She was Ina's only family, her one and only support. But luck doesn't last. One day, while looking for her grandma, Ina totally froze. Through a crack in the door, she saw something that would haunt her. Her grandma whispered a name, her voice shaking. Man, there's not much time left. And just like that, Ina's life turned into a total nightmare. Grandma handed her whole life savings to the aunt. Her plea was simple. Please take care of Ina when I am gone. That aunt just grinned with pure greed. Of course, she said. I totally will. Seeing that deal shattered her world. Even as a kid, the harsh truth about her family stabbed her heart. Whatever was in her hands hit the floor, echoing her shock. Her mind went blank, except for one terrible thought. The only person she trusted was getting ready to ditch her. Darkness swallowed everything Ina saw. The light from the door faded, just like the hope in her life. She drifted away into her old memories. That is when I went full emo. I wasn't much for talking anyway, but now, I've locked everyone out for good. My feelings just went numb thinking about it. Fast forward to my junior year of high school. I see my old loser self again, taking orders and getting roasted. Those monster hunters are making bank now, huh? Her voice was straight sandpaper. Your teacher called. Look, even a literal bug knows how to stay alive. They claim you have potential. What a joke. Then she starts her usual rant. You know how much it costs to keep you fed? You better pay me back for everything. Anna tried to protest. Auntie, but the words just died in her throat. Get it? She loomed over her like some movie monster. Spreading fear because you're too stupid to pass a test. You have exactly one choice to keep this roof over your head. Become a hunter. Her words were pure poison. Anna felt like puking. She squeezed her fist so hard her nails drew blood, just trying not to scream. They already blew through my parents' life insurance money. Now, she wanted to bleed me totally dry. The insult stung, sure, but being betrayed by my own blood hurt way more than losing the dead. You treat us like trash to be thrown away. It felt like her heart was being crushed in a vice. The worst part was I wanted to scream, but my voice failed. I couldn't say one single word back. Then I remember the day I turned in the form. I actually applied to the Hunter Academy. The instructors said my power potential was through the roof. My teacher just looked at me with real concern. You sure about this, Aina? Even with power and cash, the magic world isn't some fairy tale. It is a straight-up slaughterhouse. I don't want to see you broken. This path will literally kill you, but I was just a puppet on strings. I will be fine, I said like a robot. But inside, a darker truth was echoing. I know, but there are fates way worse than death. Back home, a fragile voice called out. Grandma sat there, her eyes searching mine. You're really going to do this? She hit the word hunter extra hard. Seeing how frail she looked made Ina think hard. One day, you'll leave me too. So why can't I just hate you, Grandma? Tears started falling before she could stop them. She wondered if her life would be different if Grandma hadn't paid her aunt. She wiped her eyes fast, killing all those useless what-ifs. No, whatever happens, happens. Is this what people call destiny? A chain you have to wear no matter how hard you fight. Inescapable. She pulled it together and lied. It is okay. I am fine. Grandma felt the stress and hugged her tight. If you do not want to do it, then don't, please. Ina's emotional dam finally burst open. Knowing her grandma just didn't want her hurt was too much. The flashback faded, and I was back in the present. Once I started down the hunter's path, my whole life changed. I checked my progress. I finally mastered mana control. I learned how to butcher monsters and the dark reality of surviving. My cold, frozen heart became my ultimate weapon. But then my memories hit a wall. Just as I was getting used to this hell, a tragedy I couldn't avoid wrecked everything. Ina stood there frozen, her soul just shattering. Right in front of her was her grandmother's cold body. There wasn't even time for goodbyes. The doctor's words were like a dagger to the heart. If she had gotten help sooner, she would still be alive. Ina couldn't believe it. The truth hit like lightning. Standing at the funeral, the truth haunted me. She didn't just die, she actually chose to skip the treatment. Did she really just give up? It was a huge misunderstanding, but right then, it felt like even she dumped me. Everything was a blur of grief. Basically, one life was over while another was forced to keep moving forward. Tears just kept streaming down, unstoppable. Grandma, honestly, the only thing I really want is to see you one more time. Then reality hit. The road ahead felt like I was choking. She looked at the sky like a lost kid. Why me? Why again? Meanwhile, she hid behind a wall, drowning in dark thoughts. I am just a fool who can't even study right. Grandma, you should have just taken me with you. Suddenly, her aunt's cold voice cut through the phone line. The sponsorship deal is done. The training association agreed to take you in. Get over here and sign the papers. Her mind fell into a dark hole. I stood there, totally frozen in shock and pure rage. My entire life was just crumbling away. Memories of that day came rushing back. For the very first time, I actually screamed at my aunt. How can you decide that? It is my life, not yours. But my aunt just sneered at her. Don't be ridiculous. You should be on your knees thanking me that I didn't sell you to some brothel. She couldn't stand another word. Phone in hand, she dipped. I chose to bolt right then, ignoring that woman's high-pitched screaming behind me. Yo, you even listening? No answer. That night's absolute nightmare just kept looping in Ina's head. I waited until 2 a.m. to grab my gear. Instead, I found a straight-up inferno, nothing but ruins and ash. My aunt's place was getting eaten by flames while monsters crawled out of a portal. Then, a scream pierced the wreckage. Save me! You're an awakener! Do something already! Move it! Her face was totally warped with pure terror. In all that chaos, I had one cold thought. Ina stared at her with zero soul. Why? Why would I ever save you? You stripped me of everything. You stole my whole life. I am not lifting a finger for yours. Suddenly, June's voice snapped her back. Ina. He saw her shaking and tried to play it cool and comforting. If that weight is too heavy, you don't have to carry it all yourself. Meanwhile, across town, Yu Jung sensed a major disturbance. She kicked the door open, sounding totally annoyed. June, why are you taking forever to get here? Instead of her buddy, some freak was standing there with terrifying energy. She froze. This wasn't June. Her eyes were scanning for an exit. This vibe, it didn't feel human at all. It felt like a straight-up monster. Everyone bunched up, getting scared. Himdu spotted them and finally spoke. Are you guys the ones backing the Changemaker? The question hung there, making the room dead silent. So June went stiff as pure terror set in. Yu Jung stammered, panic rising fast. What? What are you even talking about? Before she could finish, a wave of killer energy flooded the room. He stepped forward while they whimpered in fear. Oh, wait. His eyes were full of murder. I asked a question. Answer me. Seeing this, Seo June tapped her ring's comm spell. June, get back here now. We've got an enemy. He looks human, but his energy reeks like a monster. Suddenly, a boot slammed down right in front of her. Seo June looked up in terror as he grabbed her throat. Trying cheap tricks? The pressure on her windpipe was becoming absolutely crushing. Himu casually made a ball of dark energy, acting all smug. You are all dead. A nasty grin hit his face. Tell the Changemaker to blame himself for your deaths. Suddenly, June appeared. Yeah, that's not happening. Right then, the system dinged. Skill activated. Absolute calculation. June stepped up, hiding Ina behind him. His voice was calm but lethal. You really think I'd just sit and watch? Somewhere else. Someone was whining. Oh, for the love of... I did not sign up for nursery duty. Sue checked his binoculars. Area clear. Monsters neutralized. He looked annoyed. Why are we stuck on babysitting duty anyway? Next to him, Mosok chirped in. We do the grunt work to find the kids with some actual potential. Sue wasn't feeling it. He scoffed. Yeah, right. If we keep babying them, they'll just turn into arrogant brats. Suddenly he froze, eyes locking onto something way out in the distance. Nearby, a vortex spun in the sky, leaking a nasty, evil aura. A sound from the dark scraped their ears. Sue tensed. Is that a trumpet? A growl got closer. Sue's eyes rolled back as he saw what was behind him. Huh? Crunch! Mock watched in shock as his partner was just deleted, swallowed whole by the beast. His face went pale, mind unable to process the horror. What? What the hell was that? He scrambled for his radio. Schlick! A huge scorpion tail punched straight through Mosok's chest. His voice shook, life fading. No! The radio crackled. What's wrong? Report. Mio used his last breath to scream. Code 11. Unforeseen catastrophe. Everybody run. The radio hit the dirt with a thud. Total silence. Just the dead eyes of the scout. But on the other side, the real nightmare started. Monsters swarmed the city like a kicked beehive. Back at the duel, Himdu stared at June. Tension was high. The beast just tossed Seo Jun aside like trash, his black eyes locked onto June with pure, murderous intent. Terrifying magic energy just exploded. A suffocating aura of pure rage instantly swallowed June and Ina. Fury boiled in its veins. Behind the kid, he saw a ghost of his god, Lord Odin. How do you have his eye? June instinctively touched his left eye patch. He realized the god was reacting to the Eye of Odin. Heimdall's voice sounded like grinding stones. Now I see how trash like you leveled up so fast. He raised his massive blade. A puny human could never rank up this fast without stealing from gods. The pressure was insane, silencing everyone, but June didn't blink. He just smirked, sounding totally arrogant. If it bugs you that much, just try and take it. Seojin is screaming from the sidelines. Minhun, stop. You cannot solo this guy. That thing isn't human. But the main character's response is stone cold. Run. This one is on me. Yu Jang's face goes pale with shock and total disbelief. She screams right back. What are you even saying? We are a team. Ji-yoon does not even look over his shoulder. I will not say it again. Get out of here, right now. Heimdall's lips twist into a nasty, cruel grin. Look at you, trying to be the hero. The god lifts his blade high, literally blocking out the sun. You think you can save someone while facing me? Heimdall brings the weapon crashing down. A massive slash rips the ground wide open. The shockwave slices the building across the street in half like it was made of paper. In that split second, June taps into his power. Active skill triggered. Storm Gale hits them fast. Yu Jung and the rest get swept up. Violent winds hurl them into the sky. They are tossed to safety without any mercy, way far away from the lethal kill zone. Yu Jung and the others hit the dirt, coughing and dazed. Only Ji Hoon is left behind, standing solo against a literal god. Watching her whole world fall apart, Yu Jang screams out in total despair. Ji Hoon, what do you think you are doing? His voice cuts through the gale, totally empty. If I didn't pull this off, we would all be corpses. She tries to scream again. You mean? But Ina grabs her by the shoulder, stopping her dead. Ina's voice is shaky, but she's thinking straight. Listen, he is right. We are just dead weight against a freak of that level. Yu Jung looks at her with pure horror. That is exactly why we help. No. Ina shuts her down fast. Her eyes go hard with new resolve. I believe in him. Ji-hoon can win. Then, she barks a command. We have to reach the entrance. Get the high-rank instructors on the line. That is our mission. Yu Jung grinds her teeth like they might crack. Damn it. Choking back her tears, she spins around and follows the squad. You better stay alive, Minhun. Seriously. Ji-hoon watches their shadows fade away. His left eye suddenly blazes with a sharp, brilliant golden light. Looks like Ina handled the exit. Wind swirls in his hand as he swaps elements. Active skill on. Frozen earth. Suddenly, the whole battlefield turns into a freezing wasteland. Heimdall's grin goes from ear to ear. Ice magic. The god reads the spell instantly. Not a bad skill, but that casting time will get you killed. He mocks the human's desperate little struggle. Do you really think you can hold me off for 30 seconds? Ji-yoon replies with a scary calm. Who told you it was impossible? This was the plan from the very start. A trap set the second he clocked Heimdall. The god doesn't wait, he just charges. Fine then. Let us see if your ego matches your actual power. Total madness and bloodlust fill the god's eyes. Prove it. Time basically slows down for Ji-yoon. If I choke here, everyone dies. The god's sword hits the ground, smashing the bedrock. He has to take down this monster right here and right now. Ji-yoon does not hesitate. Active skill. Item materialization. Light forms into a legendary weapon, the S-rank Dragon Slayer Blade, Balmong. At the same time, he pops the chains of judgment. Golden chains burst from nothing, coiled around his body. With a thought, he commands them. The chains bite deep into the frozen ground, locking him down. Just as the storm of Heimdall's heavy attack slams into him, clang, Ji-hoon blocks the world-ending blow with Balmong. The actual impact is beyond catastrophic. He gets pushed back, boots tearing through the ice, but those anchored chains keep him locked in place. Using that chain tension, Ji-hoon slingshots himself away. Heimdall misses his mark, his blade burying itself deep into the solid rock instead. Boom. A shockwave blows the rubble into dust. Heimdall looks up, totally stunned. Ji-hoon is already in the air, flying out of range. Heimdall's face warps into a mask of pure, unadulterated rage. A pathetic human actually dares to mock a god? Ji-hoon's voice drifts down from the sky. I told you, didn't I? Energy flares around the hunter. Next active skill, Shadow Leaf Flight. Pure confidence burns in his eyes. I can definitely stop you. Meanwhile, back in the rubble, Ina gives the order. Focus on the rescue work right now. Medics rush to the downed students and teachers. We are running out of time. The body count is rising fast. She looks at the chaos with a grim face. A dungeon break of this size? This city has never seen a nightmare like this before. Principal Lena grit her teeth. Of all days, this happens during field training. The casualty numbers are off the charts. This was not a fluke. We have to stop this, no matter the price. Suddenly, a loud shout breaks through the noise. Principal, let us in on the fight. The volunteer was Park Hun. Lena paused, but seeing their fire, she just nodded. Fine, but you listen to me. Stay away from direct combat at all costs. Don't forget, you are still students. Then, Ju-hyun stepped up to join them. The Garum Guild is ready to move too. Jia's voice was firm. Wu and I will handle the triage and the wounded. Seeing that raw grit in the teenager's eyes, the pressure in Lena's chest finally eased up a little bit. Thank you. Let's save as many lives as we possibly can. With the order out, she turned to plan their next defense. Students on backup and trash duty. Blue mana glowed in Lena's hand as she rallied the instructors to intercept the monsters. We still have a fighting chance. Then the energy spiked and died. Lena's face went pale. What's happening? I can't condense my mana at all. A crimson system window popped up, chilling her to the bone. System error. Gaia server offline. Connection severed. Principal, my mana is gone. Instructor Dahan panicked. Beside him, Jan's voice shook as he stammered the same. Skills are dead. The situation went from bad to total catastrophe. Lena's brain was spinning out of control. This system never crashes. Why now? In the middle of this slaughterhouse, Lena let out a desperate guttural scream. Anyone? Can anyone still use their powers? The veteran instructors stood there, completely stripped of their magic. One hand shot up from the crowd. I think I can. It was Park Hyun. Then another hand followed. I'm still online. Skills are fully green. Yan confirmed. Kang Doyen stepped up. Count me in too. Lena's eyes widened. This makes zero sense. Only the students have mana. She looked around the battlefield. Spells were flying and wounds were closing. The students were totally untouched. Lena cursed under her breath. Logic was dead. She shouted over the noise. Change of plans. All students, get to the front lines. Instructors, fall back. We will handle logistics and physical support for you. Park Hyun and Kang Doyen nodded. Copy that. Lena pointed into the smoke. Sector 3, move to the blocked city. It's critical. The student squad yelled back and charged headfirst into the chaos. Park issued orders on the fly. Kang, lock down the right flank. Ji-hyun snapped back. Don't boss me around. Park ignored the ego trip. Focus on the rear line. Keep those heels coming. She nodded. On it. Moments later, the squad skidded to a stop. Park's voice dropped, thick with dread. Listen up. He forced himself to stay cool despite the vibe. Sector 3's entrance is a major bottleneck. If we hold this terrain, we can win this without getting slaughtered. We just have to stand our ground. But luck just ran out. A massive shadow blocked the sun. This wasn't just fear hitting them. It was pure despair. The bone dragon had arrived. The kids froze. We have to fight that thing? The system window popped a warning. You have encountered the Sector 3 boss, Bone Dragon. The creature's rotting breath and twisted form broke Park's focus. This is going to be a total nightmare. Meanwhile, another pack of students was hauling it toward the objective. Jia panted, thinking only of him. June wouldn't just die. Not like this. Duong gritted his teeth, swearing hard. He didn't say it, but the anxiety was killing him. Suddenly, the ring on Jia's finger started glowing. Every communication ring in the area began to pulse. Duong checked the new notification. It was a scheduled message. A familiar calm voice hit their heads. I am fine. I need a favor. Jae-hyun laid out the plan. The boss is hitting the gate. Protect the civilians at all costs. I will catch up soon. The weight lifted from Yong's shoulders. It's him. He is alive. Seeing the team's vibe shift, Sojun hid his relief. You heard the man. Let's move. We have work to do. Let's go. Du Yong whispered a quick prayer. Jae-hun, please stay safe. Miles away, Jae-hun was a blur of movement, fighting at light speed and raining down magic on the enemy below. Heimdall ground his teeth, staring at the kid with pure hate. So, being Odin's successor isn't just for show. The god snarled like a wounded beast. Today, you die. Jae-hun didn't say a word. He just dropped from the sky like a meteor. Heimdall didn't flinch, drawing his divine blade to clash. The air hummed with bloodlust. Heimdall's cold steel cut a deadly arc, sealing off every possible escape route. I, Heimdall, shall test your worth myself. He launched a flurry of strikes intended to end it, but Jae-hun moved like liquid, dodging every hit before slamming a heavy counter into the god's defense. Even though the impact sent him flying back, Jae-hun didn't flinch. A smug smirk crossed his face. You are going to regret this. The words were barely out before he charged back in. Heimdall was shocked by the human's grit, but June's voice stayed cold. My test scores have been great lately. A taunt to break a god. The system flashed. Passive skill activated. Intermediate great swordsmanship. Active skill triggered. Spin slash. The two blades slammed together. Boom. It was a massive impact that nearly ripped the sky open. Facing a real challenger, Heimdall roared with hype. Not bad for a puny human. But before the words even landed, he lunged forward, thrusting his spear with venom. The god smirked. Here is your limit. Clang. June caught the tip on his blade just in time. Metal ground against metal, screaming like a dying monster. June flashed a cocky grin, totally chill for a life or death fight. Then, in a blink, he yanked his sword back. Heimdall's eyes went wide with pure shock. As the god stumbled and lost his footing, Jae-hun ghosted to the side. A new weapon appeared in his hand. The system chimed with a deadly song. Active skill triggered. Weapon forged. The S-rank Fang of Nidhogg. He gripped the dagger, channeling every drop of power into it. Mana maxed out. Active skill. Dagger mode on. Seeing the gap, Jae-hun became a blur, shredding Heimdall's body with deep, ugly cuts. Dark energy surged through the god's arm, spreading like poison fire. The system notifications flooded his sight. Passive skill leveled up. The Fang of Nidhogg has woken. The target is now taking massive, continuous poison damage. Heimdall screamed in pain, leaning on his sword for support. You really use these dirty tricks against a literal god? Jae-hun looked down with pure disgust. You really want to talk about who looks like a loser right now? That hit a nerve, and Heimdall retreated. To a god like me, this little poison means absolutely nothing. I will heal in seconds, no matter what trash you try. Blood kept dripping, but the god stayed arrogant as ever. I was born to delete my enemies. Maybe I should take you seriously. Round 2 starts now. He remembered his big plan to hijack the Norse system and control the power of every single teacher and student. But even the power given by Odin, the All-Father, had its breaking point. Since every human is wired differently, he thought blocking the system was enough. He expected to squash them like bugs. Heimdall shook it off, killing those useless thoughts. He stared down the human. He finally had to face the cold truth. He checked Jae-hun's power level. This kid is a total monster I cannot hope to beat. With sheer force, Jae-hun's eyes glowed, matching the light on his sword. He thought back to those brutal training sessions. The sword techniques from Minhun before the camp, the dagger arts, the spin kick. They fought 1,000 times just to nail one single move. Jae-hun glared at the god, his will solid. If I mix these skills with the S-rank Fang of Nidhogg, he felt a rush of ego. Heimdall is toast. Suddenly, the god let out a crazy, terrifying laugh. Man, you really are a lot of fun. He reached behind his back, his voice becoming a growl. I see why Asgard is scared of you. He pulled out a hidden relic. Let's see you handle this. The second the item appeared, Jae-hun looked completely lost. The cloth fell, showing a horn that glowed like the sun. June panicked and charged in, hoping to stop it. I have no idea what that is, but my gut says run. Gripping his blade tight, he moved like lightning. He slashed wildly and fast. He couldn't let the god blow that thing, but Heimdall was way ahead of him. A sick grin crossed his face. Take this as a compliment, kid. Listen to the sound of the Gallarhorn. Boom. The noise ripped through the air, silencing the whole world. Jae-hun stopped cold, crushed by the pure sonic pressure. He grabbed his head, screaming as he fell back. What is this? The sound is literally shredding my soul. The system spat out error codes. Warning. The Gallarhorn has activated. Status effect. All physical stats are cut by 50%. The next alert made his blood run cold. The secret power of the artifact. It sends every beast nearby into a bloodlust. Reality cracked as mutated monsters started crawling into the fight arena. Instantly, both fighters were surrounded by a sea of monsters. June's eyes looked like they were about to pop out. What in the world is happening? Heimdall laughed. Don't get it twisted. I don't control beasts like Tyr does. The god shook with hype. This is my personal brand of chaos. June's brain was spinning. If this is magic, the system fired up. Active skill. Absolute calculation on. But then came the ultimate blow. Error. User rank is too low to resist legendary gear. Math failed. Damn it. He cursed. Stuck. Meanwhile, Heimdall charged up a massive amount of energy. The god let loose a wave of pure destruction. Jaehyun could only block and pray he survived the hit. Heimdall laughed like a winner. This is my ender. Magic flip. The god sneers, his voice thick with that fake mercy. I won't kill you, John, but I promise total agony. Jeong glares back, eyes burning with pure hate. Damn it. Heimdall sees him wobbling and goes for the kill. You'll rot in Asgard's nastiest dungeon forever, kid. Suddenly, a wave of power blocks him. A familiar voice slices through the noise. Jeon has his sins, sure. Hilla steps up, glowing with power. It's way too early to send him to hell. Heimdall's jaw hits the floor. Snap! A shield pops up around them. Hilla's eyes glow with a creepy light, showing things are about to get messy. Safe in the shield, Jeon is just confused. Hilla, what are you doing? Her hands are thin but covered in scary cracks. She looks desperate. I can't hold this much longer. Heimdall just stares, totally shocked that she even showed up. Wondered which rat hole you were in. Can't believe you're showing your face now. The god squints, smelling a rat. Wait, you actually forced yourself to tap into that forbidden hell power? Even as her magic slips away, Hilla refuses to go down. She holds the line and gathers the last of her mana. Jeon reaches out, panicking. Hilla, stop. If Heimdall is right about that power, using it is basically a suicide mission. Ignoring his pleas, Hilla lets the blast fly. Heimdall dodges it with crazy god speed. He's furious. You idiot, that power is way too big for you to handle. You're really planning to sacrifice yourself? For what? Do you actually think this enemy of Asgard can save the 9 realms now? Hilla's voice is cold as steel. I don't just believe. I know. Jaehyun will wreck Odin and end this apocalypse for good. Heimdall freezes up, totally missing all the mana building up above him. Blasphemy, he roars, charging at the stubborn girl. Her eyes lock onto his, glowing with pure determination. Hilla whispers, let's finish this. Boom. A giant snake materializes from the shadows right behind Heimdall. The god feels the danger and spins away. Jaehyun screams in total agony. Stop it! Don't do this! Heimdall sees the beast and curses. The serpent lunges, its huge jaws snapping shut. Meanwhile, on another front, monsters are about to shred the students. Suddenly, a mana blast blows them back. Shock waves ripple through the air. It's Park Hyun. He's standing alone, a human wall against the monster tide. He's not done. He pops a buff skill and charges right into the chaos for some close combat action. Magic hits monster meat, causing a massive explosion. Nearby, Guman and Gon are just fighting to stay alive. Park Hyun is a beast, dropping monsters with brutal efficiency, but his stamina is starting to tank. Jin is busy healing the wounded. Stay still. I've got you. Gun watches the horde, hope fading. We're all dead. Guman is shaking. Is that a freaking bone dragon? I thought this was just a field trip. Jin looks at the terrified kids and yells to Park Hyun. What now? We can't hold them forever. Total despair. No way out. Comms are down. We're totally cut off. Park Hyun swings his weapon with every last bit of strength he has. What the hell is happening today? My mana is at the limit. He grits his teeth. If only we had more fighters. Suddenly, someone answers him. We'll help. It's Squad 9. They charge right onto the battlefield. Park Hyun blinks. And Ho Yun, Squad 9? Ho Yun steps forward. Let us fight with you. Park Hyun hesitates. This isn't a game. It's way too dangerous for rookies. But while they argue, a monster suddenly lunges. That bone dragon is an A+ ranked disaster. If you get involved, his eyes widen. This is a death sentence. Ding! A system window pops up. Active skill, Azure Sword, Flash! Ho Yan blocks the hit. We know the risks, man. He stands there fearless, taking the beast on alone. His blade glows blue, lighting up the cave. Ho Yan just smiles. Don't worry about us. The rest of Squad 9 rushes right past a totally stunned Park Hyun. They charge into the mess without any fear. One turns back, her voice cutting through the chaos. We're here for a promise. A promise? Park Hyun is lost. Yu Jung steps up, giving a big, bright smile toward Minja Hyun. We promised Jin Hook we'd help everyone. Don't worry, we aren't going to die. That crazy, confident smile leaves Parkin totally paralyzed. He stands there frozen for a second, his brain trying to process the absolute balls on these kids. But the battlefield doesn't care about your hesitation. The monsters roar, charging forward like a massive wave of death. Yu Jung dashes toward the fight with zero fear. Don't worry, she says. Her staff explodes with bright light, setting off a chain of system alerts that ring out one after another. Active skill, Mana Overflow, Mana Sanctuary. A wave of blue energy floods the front lines, juicing her allies with insane power. Bam. 2 more skills pop. Agnes Sword and the White Sword of Flowers. Park Hee-han's jaw hits the dirt. Where is this power coming from? With that buff, Hoon shreds the enemy line like a total beast. Ripping open a path, Parkan shakes off the shock and charges straight into the chaos. His brain is fried. He thought Jin Hook was the only freak, but Team 9's performance is totally breaking his reality. These kids are straight up cracked. Park Hee-han looks back at Yu Jang, his mind spinning fast. Jin Hook's words come back to him. I am never putting my crew in harm's way. Her calm expression while chanting proves it. Suddenly, a minotaur roars, blocking the path. It swings a massive blade to squash them like bugs. But Hoon snaps up his shield. Clang. The sound of metal on metal screams through the cave. Before the noise fades, he strikes, fueled by Yu Jang's mana. Azure blades pierce the beast's vitals with surgical accuracy. Parkan and Dian jump in to help, but before they can swing, the monster drops from a lethal headshot. As the enemy folds, a heavy wave of dread hits the veterans. Working with these rookies isn't a team effort. It's a race just to keep up. Nearby, Kang Wu realizes he's actually alive. Thanks, man. You saved me. Taeyong just gives a modest little grin. No big deal. Seo scans the ground, her eyes sharp. The door is this way. Let's go. Kang Wu nods like a maniac. Thanks, Senior So-yoon. Yu Jung waits, looking worriedly where the other team vanished. We have to move now. A skeleton beast roars to stop them, but she ignores it. They're taking on the boss over there. Ina gives a cold nod. Hoon just grins, looking hyped and ready. Everyone really did level up, but before they can blink, Parkin blasts past them like a freaking hurricane. No talking. He speeds up, barking orders. We'll hit the legs and slow it down while we draw the heat. Target the core and wreck that bone dragon. Hoon answers instantly. Got it. Yu Jung hits the beast with a debuff. She takes the lead without a second thought. Instantly, she's airborne, hovering right over the monster's head. Mana swirls around her staff, crushing down into a single point of light. Blinding purple light fills the cave, then explodes, hammering the bone dragon. Watching this, Dohee feels a bitter sting. Seriously? At this rate, the freshmen are going to take all the credit. Park Ki-han agrees but keeps his cool. Face the facts. Team 9 has way more firepower than us. But admitting that as a senior, that's a hard pill to swallow. Do Hyun isn't having it. Screw that. He grabs his blade and triggers Hurricane. In a total blur, he closes the gap and slices the dragon's leg joint in one clean move. Parkin leaps up, reading the beast. Just like he thought. Tons of offense, but zero defense. That realization seals the monster's fate. He triggers his skill, heart-piercing death. His spear flies through the bone dragon's chest and nails it to the ground. Right now, he screams. The broken beast tries to howl, but its attack is way too slow compared to Yu Jang's backup. Skills start flying. Absolute Blade. Agnes Sword. A massive wave of magic rains down, absolutely bullying the giant beast. The core inside the dragon snaps under the pressure, turning to dust. The beast lets out a final shriek that echoes across the field. Somewhere else in the dungeon, Hindo turns away. He thinks it's over. This is the end. Suddenly, the giant snake slams him into the dirt. Hila watches from the shadows, letting out a long sigh. She looks pretty depressed. Target down. My job here is done. But then, the snake's pupils get tiny. Its stomach swells up like a balloon. A crazy laugh rings out from inside the monster. Hila freezes, staring at the creature's belly. Glowing eyes rip through the skin from the inside. Did you really think? Hindo explodes out of the snake's body in a spray of blood. Like something like this could kill me. Blade ready, he charges like a literal demon. Hila stands paralyzed, her brain unable to process this waking nightmare. How? How did it get this bad? No. June's scream echoes from the other side. Hila's blade shook as red blood started dripping from the steel. The killing blow had already landed. The life faded from her eyes, leaving them totally blank. Her shaking hand still held her sword, a fighter until the very end, even as she went cold. You were an idiot, Hindo sneered with an arrogant smirk. You should have known better than to bring that weak trash to a fight against me. Yeah, my power is capped here, the villain drawled, totally loving every single second. But did you honestly think you were the only one who could swing divine power? Darkness swallowed Hila as she folded. Stupid brat, Hindo spat, staring at her broken form. You're pathetic. The end is already here, he yelled, his voice hitting like a massive wave. Hilda's eyes flickered, barely staying open as his mockery filled the air. Keep struggling, it won't change a thing. Without even blinking, Hindo ripped the blade from her. Now go rot. June watched in horror as Hila's body was tossed aside like a doll. Terror filled his eyes, turning into total despair. He forced his shaking legs to move. Hilda. But Hindo wasn't done. He hummed a creepy song that felt like knives in his skull. June looked like a ghost, cold sweat drenching his skin. He reached for Hila, fighting the urge to throw up. No, not this again. I failed to protect someone again. He crashed onto the cold dirt. I tried so hard. I did everything to change this fate. Despair choked him, making every breath feel impossible. I'm just repeating my past mistakes, watching everything slip away. My life is spiraling toward the same tragic ending again. His vision blurred. What's left? Suddenly, a memory flashes back. Two people on a rooftop. You and my master both awakened your powers, June whispered, only after losing someone you loved. Old wounds ripped open as he remembered the fallen.